Konnichiwa, and welcome to the future, otherwise known as episode 56 of tomorrow's World Audit Time. Konnichiwa, Mark.
Konnichiwa, Cope-san.
How are you? All right? You back from your holiday?
Very good, yeah.
Back from your holiday?
I am. I'm back from my holiday. Yeah.
Where have you been? Mark?
Do I not look chilled and relaxed?
Yeah. Where have you been? Mark? Tell everyone at home where you've been on holiday.
Russell, I went to Japan.
Hey! Well.
Hey! Yeah. And guess where I didn't go?
Where didn't you go, Mark? Where didn't you go?
I didn't go to Tokyo. Russ.
Oh, well, thankfully, Mark, for your sakes, you didn't need to go to Tokyo, Mark, because two esteemed Tomorrow's World presenters have been there for you. So,
whoa.
Yeah, Mr. Howard Stableford and Miss Kate Bellingham have decided to go to Tokyo and find out all about Tomorrow's World in Tokyo of 1993. Which I mean, considering how much the Japanese are ahead of us, is kind of like looking at the present day in.
Do you know what I was thinking? It's like the first time I actually went to Tokyo, I think was 2010. And this episode is 17 years before that, and we're now 15 years away from the point. And yeah, I think you're right, Russ. I still think we're looking into the future with this episode. Yeah.
Actually, the first and only time I went to Tokyo was in 2010, March 2010. It's one of the drunkest holidays I've ever been on.
Yeah, I remember you telling me. I remember asking, "Oh, do you got any tips? Do you got any hints and secrets?" And no, was the answer. No, you didn't.
One of them was that you can buy beer in vending machines in the street, which
we all know that, Russ. Yeah. And lots besides from vending machines as well, which I'm sure we'll touch upon later.
Why is it? I mean, I think of all of the countries in the world, Japan is possibly the country that has the most hardy stereotypes about it of any countries. Like if you say Japan to anybody, they will come up with the same stereotypes of what you'll be able to find there, and or, you know, do you know what I mean? Like
I do. I think so. I mean, So I've been to this is my third time to Japan, second time myself and Josie have gone together. And we didn't go to the main bit. We didn't go to Kyoto or Osaka or Tokyo because we did that last time. So we went to Kyushu, which is the southern big island, and you know it's a good distance away from Tokyo. And we went to Okinawa, which is kind of halfway to Taiwan. And I think it's because Japan has a monoculture. It genuinely has a monoculture, right? It does have that shared culture that is consistent throughout the entire country from south to north. In the sense that, when we arrived at Fukuoka, never been there before, it's 2-3 hours flight from Tokyo, but you could be on the street of Tokyo in that there are all the same vending machines, there are all the same karaoke places, there's a big Echo, there's all the chains that you recognize from Tokyo and Kyoto and the biggest of the islands, all there. They all say the same things when you go into the shops. They bow. It does have that consistency throughout. Now, as we were there, the longer we went on, the more I noticed slight differences. That it was a little bit more relaxed. Perhaps it was a little bit, there was a little bit more individuality amongst people. But in general, I think it's because the reason the stereotypes are so stubborn to shift is because they all do them.
Yeah.
It's not like Britain where there's all these different kind of regions and all these different accents and stuff. I'm sure there are different accents in Japan, but the approach is all the same. There is no kind of there is no Scotland to Japan really. I mean, there are differences in certain areas, but I think in general there is more that unites them deliberately than divides them, which probably explains quite a lot of their recent politics for us. But that's probably enough for this show.
And how many vending machines selling schoolgirls' underwear did you see while you were there, Mark?
Once again, Ross, I have to say it was 0 for 150. I keep looking.
I have to say, if I was Japanese, that would be the one thing that would annoy me. I wouldn't mind people, doing most of the stereotypes, like the sumo wrestlers or Godzilla or whatever, karate, although whatever other stereotypes I get associated with me. But the fact that my country is so strongly associated with the idea that there's every street corner there's a vending machine selling schoolgirls' underwear. That would annoy me slightly. But why is that such a pervasive...
I've just had a horrible thought, Russ. What if we're the only two people obsessed with it and no one listening has any idea what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah.
I don't even know what I remember. Well, you and I both came into school the following day saying, did you just see that thing on TV?
Yeah, I don't know
it's a vending machine. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. It's that and square watermelons. They're the two main
I didn't see any square watermelons, but as well, we did come across yellow kiwi fruit.
Yes, yellow kiwi fruit. Yes, yeah. And
which, as you rightly pointed out, looked more delicious than a green one.
That was, I think, part of the exciting thing about this episode, Mark, is that I sent it to you while you were on holiday.
Yeah.
So you were able to watch it actually while you were in Japan, which I think will give you a unique...
A real insight, yeah.
Yeah. A unique way of looking at these things. Almost like our first ever roving report.
Hey, I mean, by all accounts, I was just thinking there, it's like, do you think I might be the only person who's ever watched this Tomorrow's World special in Japan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you might be, actually. Yeah. I mean...
Let's assume I am.
Yeah. I mean, we're the only people watching these episodes of Tomorrow's World.
So really, it's a 50-50 between the two of us. Yeah. I did enjoy receiving it, and I did enjoy watching it in Japan. And you didn't put me under any pressure to watch it in Japan, but I think you were very pleased that I did watch it when I was in Japan and didn't save it when I came back.
Absolutely, yeah, totally, yeah. But yeah, this is specifically Tokyo. This one, they don't escape the environs of the metropolis.
No,
we've got it's quite a packed episode, so I won't waste too much time at the beginning here. But just one thing I wanted to say is that...
Waste time? What?
Is that everyone bangs on about how big Tokyo is, right? And how many people live there. When I was looking into this, I think they might be cheating a bit, Mark. Because it turns out that they just call anything Tokyo.
Yeah, they do, yeah. The Greater Tokyo area, yeah.
Do you know that the Greater Tokyo area includes islands that are in the water, in water to the east of Tokyo? There is an island 1,150 miles away from Tokyo,
no,
which is
no
Minami Torishima.
That can't be true.
That counts as Tokyo. So I mean, that's like if it was the London borough of Gibraltar, essentially.
I mean, later on, I will discuss about my own experience of the size of Tokyo, and definitely in some directions and in some ways, Tokyo is fucking huge. But I think you're right, because actually, I remember looking into this myself a few years ago, and I don't know, you'll tell me, but like the population of Tokyo, like is 36 million or something like
41 million.
41, it's gone up, there you go. But the same kind of official measurement of Tokyo's population, which includes that kind of greater Tokyo area, gives London's population of 17.5 to 18 million, because it includes the home counties. Because the whole point is that if you live in an area that basically only exists to provide homes for people who work in the city, you count as the population of the city. So the home counties and London adds up to close to 20. So that's the measurement of Tokyo. Having said that, that is still twice the size of London. So I didn't know about that island.
Yeah.
It's probably like the Isle of Wight, really. The Isle of Wight. We'll scale it down appropriately.
Yeah, but Isle of Wight's not over 1,000 miles away from London, though, is it really?
No, not really. The Isle of Sheppey?
Anyway, as I said, we've got a lot to get through. This was a real Ramadan jam-packed episode, wasn't it, Mark? It was absolutely chock-a-block.
It was. We both had the same complaint, which is that stuff that normally takes us a couple of hours was taking us, like 4.
Yeah. So who knows how long this episode will be? But, well, shall we find out? Let's get cracking, shall we?
Oh, there's only one way we're going to find out. Let's do it.
Prepare to meet my maker.
This week, Tomorrow's World comes from the city where the future's dawning.
The city of the techno-fix, where machines are becoming human and humans becoming machines.
It's the city at the heart of the Japanese economic miracle, sending not just products, but a whole way of life to the rest of the world.
But what does it mean to live, work and play in Tokyo? Is it a technological dream or a nightmare?
Well, we've immediately got your work cut out there, Mark, with a brand new title sequence. I enjoyed the fact that they had attempted to Japanify the theme tune slightly there by overlaying some sort of like Japanese sounding instruments. I don't know what they were.
Ish.
Some sort of
and kind of kanji style font.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the,
I think they missed the opportunity to have a nice big gong at the beginning. I was thinking best way of signifying a Japanese person is about to be on the screen is to have a gong go off. You know what I mean?
Or just Oriental in general, to use an archaic term, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we must be an old Peking or futuristic Tokyo.
Anyway, Mark. Oh, and also,
Yeah.
oh no, you'll get into it. Let me just. You get into it, Mark, and I'll interject when there's things I was interested in.
I've pre-rolled my sleeves up. I think in the end, this took me about 45 minutes to write all this out, so you better believe.
And I think it's definitely not wasted time, because everyone really loves this bit.
No, I know, everyone really loves it. I'm bombarded by no emails being sent anyway, I'm not even going to bother. So special episode, Rust demands special opening titles, and so let me regurgitate what I managed to capture. Our first sight of these special opening credits is a toy robot, and we're going to see a lot of this toy robot and some of his chums dropped and littered throughout this episode for no particular reason. I'm not quite sure. All the little interstitial elements will include a toy robot, or weirdly, some kind of weird 3D
cyclist,
image cyclist, which makes it anyway. Whatever. This toy robot is being filmed at a high vantage point overlooking a busy street in Tokyo, and it says to us, "Prepare to meet my maker." Weirdly, at some point, his eyes bulge out. I think it's at 6 frames, like one of those wolves who's seen a sexy lady.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. There's a lot of that the first half of the show. Don't know why. Blink and you'll miss it if you're lucky. There's then the main element of the opening credits is just a absolute torrent of splice montage of B-roll, and I suspect that not a single one of them lasts for more than half a second. So bear with me. We see a man walking by the camera, which is filming a junction in what I think is likely to be Akihabara in Tokyo, because I think quite a lot of these shots are taken from what was known as Akihabara's Electric Town area. All the buildings are all lit up and there's neon signs up the wazoo. The one exception is in the second shot, which is clearly Shibuya Crossing, which is that famous pedestrian crossing, which I'm sure you've been on, Russell, but you probably have no idea. You blacked out halfway.
I remember it being weirdly quiet when I was there.
Oh! What time?
I don't know. I've no memory of when it was definitely daytime. But I just think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether it was. I don't think it's necessarily quiet of people. It's just audibly quiet. Like they weren't making a lot of noise.
Yeah. Well, why would they? They're very respectful, polite people. They're not used to people like you coming from East Sussex and just shouting at the place.
West Kent.
I know. I just by a street. Yeah, so Shibuya Crossing, which I've been to several times as well, actually. The weird thing about it is I've only ever been there accidentally when we needed to cross the road. So it's one of those things you're like, oh, this serves a purpose. It's not a tourist attraction. Weirdly, it's one of the most underexposed shots of Shibuya Crossing I've ever seen. There's quite a lot of this. I know the way we came across this episode, it's not the normal way, but still, there's quite a lot of weirdly underexposed shots in this opening credit only, which implies that something went wrong with the cameras and they did not have time to rectify.
Well, they would have done it on the way back to the airport. That's why, as we always know.
From the hotel, which I think we're about to see a shot of, because we see Japanese, American, South Korean, and Chinese national flags displayed horizontally outside what I suspect is a hotel. What I suspect is probably their hotel. And in the background, there's a blue neon sign displaying bright red kanji characters. I've got a translation app thing on my phone. Couldn't work out what it said. There just wasn't enough. Next shot, we have a bright out of focus neon sign, and it's being pulled into focus, but teasingly it never ever comes into focus enough as you actually see what it is. That the sign does seem to advertise Omron, and then it looks like to have an assortment of random shapes. In the next shot, we see another underexposed shot, this time of various buildings, one of which includes the Omron sign we've just seen, which is in focus. But
what is Omron? Do we know what Omron is?
It's company. No, you have to see your job.
I never look at the credits.
Don't ask me.
I never look at the credits. Omron go. Electronic and mechanical components, relays and switches.
There you go. That makes sense, right? Despite it being in focus, there's absolutely no way of understanding what all the random shapes and letters make up. One of the other buildings contains a TV screen onto which the production team have superimposed the normal titles of the show, which, as the music plays, I'm sure you're all picturing in your mind. We return to our robot friend again as he spins for our entertainment. This match cuts to a gyroscopic arcade flight simulator that is also spinning, but for someone else's entertainment, we then see a close-up of the TV screen from earlier. And this time, instead of the opening credits that we would normally see, it is a superimposed shot of Godzilla in Technicolor.
Not just Godzilla, proper Godzilla, Mark. Proper,
yeah.
Proper
Yeah.
Godzilla, not that fake Godzilla we had about 4 episodes ago.
No, true. Who, to be fair, won't come out for another 5 years anyway. But yeah.
But it's not. It's good that we've now seen both varieties of Godzilla in our travels to tomorrow's world.
Yeah.
We're not even 4% through tomorrow's world, so we've managed to see both types of Godzilla.
It's brilliant. Why are we still doing this? Back to a wider shot that we saw earlier, which continues to show the normal titles. We see stock footage of a jumbo jet in flight in broad daylight, even though everything else we've seen so far is at night. We now see a close-up of another TV screen on a different building manufactured by Sony, which is genuinely displaying R. Howard as he looks around above his head and off-screen in wonder and amazement, like one of those boxes in, what was that American sitcom where the two families merge together and there's like 9 squares and whatever.
I wondered about this because...
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, there is no segment in this programme about
absolutely not
public display screens.
Nope.
Is that just a thing that you could do? Could anybody go and do that in that square? Or have they asked Sony to let them do that especially? I'm guessing Sony. Does it say Sony on the screen? Maybe.
It does say Sony on the screen, yeah.
Yeah.
We crash zoom into an illustrated poster for Home Alone 2 with the Statue of Liberty pulling the Kevin McAllister screen face. The kanji tagline is legible, and it does say it's Christmas in New York and someone is alone again. I don't know why we see this. It's not particularly Japanese or futuristic. The Howard TV screen again, but people are passing by in the foreground whilst Howard is looking down and pointing, which that must have been a fun shoot for him.
Yeah.
We're about halfway through, so let's keep up this momentum. A pedestrian crossing a ground level. People pass by in the background, whilst people in the foreground are clearly superimposed in, as again is our spinning toy robot for the 3rd time. We go back to Howard's TV screen, but this time Kate is on it now. She goes from looking down on the bottom right, her bottom right, to in a slightly gormless way, to looking up at the top left of the screen. We now see stock footage of the wheels of a landing plane entering from the top of the screen, but we cut away even before they're close to making contact with the runway. They do like teasing us throughout all this. We then cut to an air traffic controller who then places comically large binoculars to his face.
Now this bit, Mark. Did this at all remind you of the bit in the day-to-day with the air traffic controllers in the sketch where the dog pilots a helicopter?
The second I read your note saying day to day, I immediately remembered that particular. Oh, it's Martin. you know.
Yeah.
And I remember the whole pocket. Yeah, I've always wanted a pocket shepherd.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case I have an old woman stuck up a pole. Right. So we go from the air traffic controller with comically large binoculars at his face to stock footage of the jumbo jet, which is now landed. There's a different spinning toy robot filmed outside an office building. There's a voyeuristic shot of passengers walking inside the airport terminal. We don't know where the location is yet, but it will be revealed to us very shortly. Our air traffic controller looks off screen right into the distance, professionally judging whatever it is he's having to consider. We then cut to a reversing jumbo jet, which I doubt an air traffic controller is really responsible for. The widest shot of passengers walking inside the terminal, revealing that it's being filmed from outside and beside the parked jumbo jet. A toy robot appears in the background of this shot as a giant overlooking the parked plane, and by implication, it's looking at us and judging us, finding us wanting. Cut to the same toy again on the floor of a travelator as Howard leans down to pick it up, and he goes into the first segment.
Wow. I mean, that's Japan in a nutshell, isn't it, Mark? I realise now...
I'm tired.
Now that you've said it like that, the aeroplane is sort of like meant to be that Howard and...
Yes, that's how they're getting there.
I hadn't really considered that it was meant to be Howard and Kate arriving in Tokyo.
Because a lot of this bit next, they are arriving with their bags and being filmed on CCTV at one of the 2 airports.
Yeah, and this era of Tomorrow's World does tend to have a framing device of the thing that it shows you in the opening credits is the thing that they have a fact about at the end of the programme, which they do with this. Yeah. But the weird thing in this is they also have robots all the way through just doing weird, cheeky things, which I'm not really sure why that is, but a bit of fun, I guess.
I'll be honest with you, it didn't work for me. No. But the rest of the episode did.
No. But it does seem like everyone is having fun in this episode, don't you think?
Everyone is having a lot of fun.
I feel like, if we asked Howard, he would remember this trip and with fondness.
Well, it begs the question, based on our fabulous surprise episode with the Through the Keyhole, what hat did we see in that episode? Do you think he brought her from this trip?
Oh, yeah.
But, we'll never know. Because I'm not going to go back and rewatch that, and I doubt you are too.
No. Right, toot toot, all aboard.
They've conquered the world. The people of Tokyo alone produce more industrial goods and services than the whole of Great Britain. But they're suffering for it. Japan is the only country in the world where death from overwork is officially recognised. It's called karoshi, and up to 10,000 people a year are dying from it. But even hard work can't seem to sustain the Japanese economic miracle. Profits are tumbling, tempers are fraying, the party seems to be over. Japan Inc. got rich by manufacturing steel and stereos, televisions and textiles. 95% of video recorders are made in Japan. So are 70% of all the cameras and tapes that are used to make television programs. All these edits are being made using Japanese equipment, and 10% of you will have driven home this evening in a Japanese car to eat a meal cooked in a Japanese microwave oven. And as for these...
There's a lot going on in that first segment, Mark. It's a lot of different things all at the same time. Probably
there's a lot going on, but not for people listening at home, though, right?
Yeah. One of the problems with this episode, and we're going to hit it time and time again, is a steadfast refusal to put voiceovers on bits that need voiceovers. There's quite a number of bits where they just rely on captions on the screen, which it's a tremendous dereliction of duty for the BBC's blind viewers, which presumably they're, there would have been plenty of, but a fair number of in 1993. I don't know why they decided to do that, but I guess we'll have to just fill in the blanks, won't we? Really? Do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we should do. Yeah, we should do the BBC's job for them.
Yeah,
again. Yeah, because the whole first part that you'll have only heard the music for is just shots of commuters riding into Tokyo, interspersed with text, very large text on black screens, genuinely interspersed throughout the shot. That's saying every day, new screen, 3 million workers, salarymen, office ladies, commute into Tokyo. And every time we see examples of those, so we see some of the 3 million workers, we see salarymen who are businessmen, we see office ladies who weirdly are not professional looking women, but they're shown in traditional dress. And then we just see lots of people, kind of looking bored as they commute into town, with the exception of one guy who's listening to earphones. And they've this whatever piece of kit they've picked up in some electronics market that allows them morph images has his ear randomly throbbing.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever, except that they clearly have learned how to do it.
Exactly. Throughout this episode, there are weird, unnecessary morphing effects. There's another guy on the train who they make his nose wiggle slightly.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Again,
no
nose
I suspect we will not remember to flag them all up. So people, I hope, just assume that every second shot includes somebody's visage being misshapen for no particular reason.
Yeah. So this is kind of an introductory piece where not only because the stuff that people could hear was how we're talking about the economy, but before that, when they're on the train, we get to see.
Well, that's just the first part, right? Yeah. That's the establishing bit, because the main bit of the whole segment is. Well, if I read out the text again, you'll know what it is, because it explains, again, like somebody could have read this out. All right. The average journey 90 minutes, leave home at 7 a.m., get home at 8 p.m., many sleep on the train. The rest are entertained in the tunnels. They watch cartoons. Electronic displays on the tunnel walls are triggered by the train's approach. The picture changes to match the speed of the train. Tunnel fun. Welcome to Tokyo. But in the end, you reach work. And then that's where we hear the kind of slightly chilling jackboot steps of marching troops.
Yeah. I have to say, for many, many years, when I lived in London, getting the tube, I used to think to myself, I wonder if it would be possible for them to project cartoons onto the wall of the tunnel and have the speed of the train make it so that you could see a cartoon. So I was delighted to see that it is possible, Mark. I've never seen this. Do they still have these in Japan? I couldn't find out whether they still had them in Japan or not. I mean, I have found examples of them around the world, but it's not like a common thing on the trains in Japan nowadays, is it? As far as you're aware, no. No.
No. As far as I'm aware, I mean, it's been 6 years since I was in Tokyo, and I do not remember them being on the walls. And any subway we took on the most recent holiday, again, the walls were cartoon free.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know how you'd go about like updating the story, because actually, I think as a commuter, if they were on there, the first time you see them, you're going, "Oh, that's fun." But the 50th time you see them, you'd probably want to kill yourself and everyone else on the tube.
It's good for the tourists, though, isn't it, Mark? The tourists would enjoy it.
Well, there's an issue with tourists in Japan at the moment. They're not flavour of the month, I suppose.
Oh, they're not.
Yeah, well, not us, not Western tourists, but yeah, they're not particularly overjoyed with the amount of Chinese and South Korean tourists that are heading to Japan these days.
Oh, really?
The yen is at an all-time low. Well, not an all-time low, because I was thinking the first time you and I went, it was quite pricey, right, Japan?
Yes,
quite
yeah.
It would have been like 10 quid a pint or something like that. It felt like.
I've got a theory that all of the expensive countries are becoming cheap, and all the cheapest countries are becoming expensive. Mark, I did actually notice. I did see that. I figure, where is it? Yeah, the cost of living in Tokyo is now 31% cheaper than the cost of living in New York, which I'm sure never used to be the case.
We definitely noticed that Japan this time around felt like perversely affordable. Like there were definitely times where we were kind of like, I can't believe how cheap this is.
We might,
which is lovely.
We might as well. Well, if we're discussing cheapness of Japan, we might as well discuss this now, because Howard touches on it, doesn't he? He talks about how the economy of Japan is
Japan Inc.
Yeah, Japan Inc. Did he say in the doldrums? He says something like that, doesn't he? He says that the economy of Japan is in trouble. And this is 1993, Mark, and it turns out that the economy of Japan basically, didn't grow for another 20 years. And economists, if you look online, economists almost to a man spend all their time saying,
sexist.
This is absolutely terrible. The economy of Japan has been an absolute shit show for 20 years. Awful. No GDP growth. Blah 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 blah. They never explain why it is that Japan clearly has an incredibly good standard of living, and it's not like there's almost no homelessness. Everyone seems to have a job. Everything seems to run fine. So in their minds, what counts as a good economy? If they click, their standard of living is so much better than, for example, I don't know, America's. Overall, how do they justify this? Is it just that economists are looking at the wrong thing? I think it's the economists looking at the wrong thing, Mark.
I think there is poverty in. I'm going to shock you, Russ. There is poverty in Japan. I suspect where we go, probably we don't see it. The thing is, right? You're not wrong. It does feel like for 30 years that people have been complaining about the Japanese economy. And indeed, they have a new prime minister whose entire job, it seems, is to kind of reinvigorate the Japanese economy. It seems to me that I was talking about this at work where, our budget is under pressure, and it has been for quite a while. And I was talking about my own experience whereby every year, the beginning of the financial year, that we'd be talking about next year and saying, we have X million that, we there's a hole of X million that we need to fill through, restructures, blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of the year, our financial whiz kids, so all our tech, we're all brilliant at their job, would have found just enough kind of clever wheezes to kind of make it go away for another year. And for a while, it was like, oh, this is brilliant, fab, great, bullet dodge. But in the end, I was kind of making the point that every time we do this, it means that when we actually have to do it, people won't be prepared for it. That actually, and I said, this is the weird thing about the Japanese economy, whereby people have been complaining about its suffering for quite a while. And, obviously it clearly is in some way. And yet they always manage to just about slightly get away with it every year. Yeah. And my understanding is that the real issue is still to come. And it's the fact that, the number of children per person is under one. Yeah. Which means their population is about to, not just decline, but obviously it is obviously fundamentally aging. And that's when the bill is due. All our societies are broadly based on the kind of a welfare model whereby young people in employment pay taxes so that old people who retire can be looked after. That works if there's more young people than there are old people. Otherwise, everything falls apart. And I think that's kind of where they are now, which is like, I think it's even worse in South Korea, weirdly. But yet, no one ever talks about South Korea as being kind of an economic basket case. Sorry, I can't really formulate my thoughts. There is poverty there, but yeah, you're right. It's like, once again, we were wandering around and the infrastructure is so brilliant and everything feels new and fresh. Yeah. And all the food was incredibly good and it was really great value. And, if we lived there, we'd be kings and queens. Albeit, you know, the thing about being on holiday, of course, like you are stripped of reality. Like we're not paying taxes when we're out there outside VAT. You know, it's all fun and games. I don't know. It's really interesting.
It's like
because he's mentioning something that was already understood at this point in 1993.
Yeah,
and yet it hasn't changed.
It's like, well, this is the thing. This is my theory. I don't like economists, Mark. I think economists are wrong. Like Japan has low crime rate, affordable health care. Almost perfect infrastructure, cheaper housing because it's the only country where houses get cheaper as they get older.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Food and utilities are comparatively cheaper than Western countries. It's a really good education system, and there's lower income inequality, right? So it has all of these things that we're all striving for. And just because it doesn't have a particularly good growth of GDP, everyone thinks it's an economic basket case, and it's insane. It's just. I just think economists are idiots. I tried to find some people arguing like for Japan. There's very few of them. I think mostly the economists you can find on the internet are Americans. And you see so many Americans going, actually, the standard of living in Japan is not very good. Their houses are very small. You can only have one car. Their food portions are very small. Like stuff that only Americans are interested in.
Yeah.
You know, you can't buy a machine gun in the corner shop.
Yeah.
You just got it all the wrong way round. Like, you know.
As a European going on holiday to Japan, I found the food portions to be perfectly adequate.
Yeah.
High quality. Some of the places we went to were small, but I mean, because of the way the algorithms spits things out, you know, because we were doing a lot of research, we had our own little itinerary that we put together, so we were doing a lot of research. I was beginning to get listings, like rental listings for some of the places we were going to. And one came up and it was, I won't reveal the price, it was like, this is what X will get you in Fukuoka. And I was watching it. And, you know, Fukuoka is like the main city in Kyushu. And it's kind of, I think, you know, it's actually, I don't think it's very well known, but it is really big even by Japanese standards. It's quite a big city. It's bigger than Nagasaki and Hiroshima and stuff like that. And, which are nearby-ish. And it's actually quite a really vibrant, like, Silicon Valley kind of thing. And I was looking at this listing and I was thinking like, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. It's quite small though. I don't think me and Josie fit in there. And then I was thinking like, it's £800 a month. It's like, what the hell does it matter? You know, it's like, it was so cheap. And that included all utilities. And I was thinking like, it's one of those things you can look at this, you go like, and even when we came back and you know, we had to go to M&S to pick up milk. And I was thinking like, oh, well, back to real prices that real people have to pay. And thinking like, why are we paying these real prices? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, let's all move to Japan, Mark. Anyway.
Oh, they'd love that.
You just said we were all right.
Yeah, ish. Yeah, we're better.
Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't want to move to Japan because they work really hard, don't they? As is touched on.
They do.
Segment.
That's the weird thing. And even now, the new prime minister, her whole strategy is to water down some of their kind of work time directives, which basically so that people can go back to working like 140 hours a week.
I've got to say, so Howard mentions karoshi here, doesn't he? Karoshi?
Yes, karoshi.
Obviously, the thing I'm least likely to die of. But I did
say that we've had to delay at least one recording session because you have. I'm going to use the words you said to me. You've been working, Russ.
Yeah.
Actual work.
It does seem strange that occasionally things happen at work exactly on the days that I don't want them to, as if somebody knows. As if somebody's trying to sabotage me. Anyway, I found some examples of karoshi.
Yeah,
because there was the International Labour Organization reporting.
Is that one of those organisations that gives you, you know, where you get the fake IDs in the back of FHM?
Yeah. A 2013 report. No, actually, I think they're a UN organisation, actually, but a 2013 report by them. So I've got a couple of other examples here. Mr. A worked at a major snack food processing company for as long as 110 hours a week and died from a heart attack at the age of 34.
Oh, stop. That's not good.
Mr. B, a bus driver, whose death was also recognised as work-related, worked 3,000 hours a year, the equivalent of 4 months solid. He did not have a day off in 15 days before he had a stroke at the age of 37. Now, for comparison, the average UK full-time employee is 1,800 hours a year, so it's nearly double. This one, Mr. C worked in a large printing company in Tokyo for 4,320 hours a year, including night work, which is the equivalent of 6 months solid work a year.
Wasn't he in The Shaman?
And died of a stroke at the age of 58.
Oh, God.
They're putting steps in to try and curb this a bit. Companies are enforcing their workers to work fewer hours. And there's a Karoshi hotline where worried wives and relatives can phone up and grass up their other halves for working too much. There's an equivalent thing in China called, I think it's Guangxi, which is similar to Karoshi, but also includes heavy drinking in the evenings.
Well,
which sounds...
This is the thing.
Which
I was going to say,
but
then, I mean, part of the kind of I mean, again, alcohol's really cheap in Japan. And that's because they consume
my drunk holiday.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, especially now. I mean, when we first went, I mean, it was relatively expensive because obviously we had less money and stuff like that. But also, I think the yen was a higher value. But now it's like you wouldn't, you'd lose your goddamn mind, Ross. But the weird thing is, like, again, one of the reasons is because they actually have a relatively high consumption of alcohol per capita, and it is because of that exact same reason, which is that you are celebrated as a worker for going out and getting absolutely rat-arsed with your boss. It is not acceptable to go home early and go like they want you to get the last train home. It is part of the culture. The flip side is, I think a lot of people probably have seen this online. There's this weird other aspect of it where, like, if they want you, it is very difficult to. It's very difficult for a company to sack people, kind of not even legally, just kind of morally. They don't want to sack people. It's seen as a failure. They want you to go. So apparently, and you're going to love this, if they want you to go, something they will do is not give you work or add you to meetings.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah,
and the idea is that you're supposed to go like, my time is up. I should move on to something new. and then you have all these Americans online go like, where can I get one of these jobs from?
Yeah. Absolutely. Stick me in the corner office, give me one of those little putting machines, and I'll be laughing. Yeah.
Newton's cradle.
Yeah. So going back, because I realised we haven't covered this yet.
Nope.
The cartoon on the train.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, I forgot about this. Yeah, go on then.
It's actually technically a zoetrope, not a cartoon.
Yes.
Mark, obviously, a zoetrope. Something which I didn't realise, they found zoetropes going. Obviously, the Chinese invented them because the Chinese invented everything pretty much. 5,000 years ago was the first zoetrope they found, but they tend to be spinning, the classic ones spin.
The classic one, yeah.
This is known as a linear zoetrope. One of the few things that actually seems like the Japanese haven't invented in this episode, Mark. This is not a Japanese invention. The first subway-based zoetrope was on the New York subway in 1980. It was called the Mass Transiscope, but it's done by an artist called Bill Brand, and he made some 228 hand-painted panels behind slits in a unused subway station called Myrtle Station. And it fell into disrepair, but in 2008 they restored it. It's still there. You could go and see it. So I've got a video of it for you to watch.
Let's have a look.
There you go.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
It's got a nice sort of rough and ready hand-drawn quality to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So then, cut to 2001, there was an astrophysicist called Joshua Spodek who realised that you could do this, but if you used digital screens, you could change what was on them. So if you set up individual digital screens through the tunnel, you could put different images on them, and in that way, in the grand traditional way, you could sell advertising.
I knew it. Go on then.
So, interestingly, his first customer was Dasani water, just the Coca-Cola water, on the Atlanta subway in 2001. And he was meant to have a big launch in 2001. But unfortunately, the day they picked...
Oh, no, it wasn't September 11th, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Okay. So it got delayed a bit.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any film of the original one, but I did find when it quickly expanded to other transits, and it went to New York, and there was this little news report about it from New York.
No controversy over these new ads underground. In fact, they look pretty cool. We were the first to tell you about them a few months ago, and today people riding the PATH trains were the first in our area to check them out. The ads are really still images chopped into tiny strips that only appear to move when the train is moving. They're called 15-second mini motion pictures.
So that became a company called Submedia.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, this Spodek character, I don't know anything about him, so I wouldn't want to disparage him or anything. But he doesn't work for Submedia anymore. He's one of those, there's that subcategory of human being now where they just have a podcast and talk about how to become a CEO.
Yeah.
Right. So he's one of those. Yet when he was a CEO of Submedia, the investors in Submedia moved offices and didn't give him a key.
Wow, so he's really good at his job then.
So because his company lost so much money. But he's really successful now as a podcaster talking about how to be a good CEO. I'm not sure he's managed to do that.
Well, to be fair to him, he did become a CEO.
He did become a CEO, yeah. He's done TED Talks and everything. That's all that matters, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether you're a successful businessman. You just
Nope.
call yourself a CEO, do a TED Talk, get a podcast, bosh, you're successful.
Bosh.
If we set up a company, who would be the CEO, Mark? Would it be me or you? What do you think?
That's a really good question. I mean, my instinct is probably to put you front and centre.
So get all the flack.
Yeah. Get all the flag, but also, you probably would, wow people in Davos.
Has anybody ever turned up to Davos dressed as Davros? It seems like an obvious thing to do.
Yeah. This is probably why they don't invite us there, right?
Incidentally, there's a very brief mention of consumer goods, Mark, isn't there?
Yes.
Howard basically tells us that everything we use is Japanese. All of our
Which
consumer
even at this
goods.
point is no longer really true.
No.
But yeah.
Well, if you buy quality stuff, Mark. Oh, actually, no.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. But even then, it's going to be...
Although I don't know how much Russell Hobbs stuff is manufactured in Japan. Obviously, that's the only electrical equipment I buy.
That's true. I mean, that's the gold standard, right?
Yeah, I've got my Russell Hobbs PC in front of me. You know?
Of course you do, yeah. You're one of the few people with a Hobbentosh.
But he mentions that all of the VHS, VCRs, I would call it a VHS player, but people say VCR now.
I say
don't they?
VCR.
I think that's an Americanism, personally. But anyway, unfortunately, the last VHS player, VCR, was manufactured in 2016. It was the last one was made by Funai Electric in Japan. But even in 2016, they were selling 750,000 of them per year, and they decided that wasn't enough to sell. That seems like stuff quite a lot to me.
That's a lot. That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
That's more than I'd expect. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if surely there aren't multiple per household. That means like 1.5 million to 2 million people in a family in Japan are deciding to purchase a new VCR up until 2016 when they can no longer do it.
I suppose if you've got a really, really big collection of films and they're all on video, you don't want to rebuy them all on DVD, do you?
True.
I guess
That's
so
true.
You're kind of lumbered.
You don't want to lose
you?
the fidelity that only VHS can bring
Exactly.
you, right?
You don't want to lose, Simon Bates at the beginning telling you that.
I have to say, VHS does not strike me as the kind of thing that's going to come back like vinyl has. I don't think there's any kind of hipster golden halo effect with VHS, I don't think.
No. And Howard also mentions that we probably cooked our dinner in a Japanese microwave.
10% of people would have cooked their dinner in a Japanese microwave.
And you had experience of a Japanese microwave, didn't you, Mark? You sent me a little video of a Japanese microwave.
Didn't I just, Russ? Do you want to explain what you saw?
Well, can I even play a little clip of it?
Oh, please, put it in now.
Oh, that's quite nice. God, now preheat it.
How good was that?
Yeah, so musical. I can't imagine that would ever get annoying or anything like that.
What the video doesn't capture was just how sonorous and toneful the chords were. Like, it really sounded like there was somebody in the corner playing guitar. When Josie first did it, all she wanted to do was preheat the oven. She had an oven feature. I was literally like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to preheat the oven. Oh my god, it was amazing. And like, it was just so. I don't know, it just made me happy. It put a smile on my face. The way it harmonised with itself.
Do you think?
And it ends in such a flourish as well. The last setting.
Do you think with enough time and practice you could keep switching between
yes, 100%,
and actually do a tune?
Yeah. I gave it a couple of goes throughout the holiday when we were there, and I could never quite work it out. But I'm not really musical, but I suspect somebody could do.
Oh, wow. That's...
And what if you had two different models that had two... Oh, no, it just blows my mind thinking about it, Russ.
Right, anyway.
But we were discussing before we recorded, everything makes a noise out in Japan. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything demands your attention with a tone or a chime or something like that. So to come across something that was remarkably lovely felt like my ears were being massaged.
But to stay rich, Japan is having to make structural alterations, move on from the mass production of goods that can be made cheaper in Taiwan or Korea, to the rather more specialist production of goods like this.
This is an intelligent building. It's wired up, plugged in, the best networker in town. It is the technology the Japanese hope will ensure their future, and it's taking Tokyo from the industrial to the information age.
Intelligent buildings are designed not just so they can talk to themselves, but so that everyone in and outside the building can join in.
And this is where it all starts, the building's nerve centre.
Everything's monitored. The elevators, the alarms, the electricity. When it's light, blinds go down. When it's dark, lights go on. And if it's warm, this roof will open, all reducing energy consumption by about 40%.
It all makes the building more efficient, but its ultimate purpose is to do the same for the people in it. Having transformed the factory, the Japanese are now trying to revolutionise the office.
It starts at the top. In the decision room, voice-activated microphones mean you can be heard whispering from one end of the room to the other. In each office, there are systems allowing people to hear, see and design with colleagues in other buildings. It means less commuting. There's the option of wider communication too, international video conferences, and the latest buzz technology, virtual reality. Just a pair of gloves and glasses, but enough to let people work in completely different places, united in a virtual world.
Information and ideas, not people and products, are the new age travellers. And it's in buildings like this that the systems to transport them are being used and developed.
Over the next few years, £200 billion will be spent constructing more of them, paving the way for the next generation of Japanese exports.
It's a strategy. It's switched on, plugged in, hardcore. And it knows I've gone.
It's switched on, plugged in and hardcore, Mark.
Wow. How right he is, I suppose.
I don't know what Howard's been buying from the electrical retailer, some sort of backstreet electrical retailer there. But it's the welcome return, Mark, of the NEC headquarters building that we've seen before.
Yeah.
Interesting design.
Why, Russ? I don't understand. It's perfectly normal to me.
Designed by a man, I would guess.
Yep. A very confident man, or a very unconfident man, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff in this is just the internet, really, isn't it? It's stuff that we can explain with the internet now, isn't it?
This is so incredibly technologically advanced, what we're seeing. It looks really old-fashioned. But what I mean is, like, the fact that at some point you see 3 or 4 people all video conferencing at exactly the same time on the same screen and having a chat. It's like, that is so beyond what we could do in England at this exact time. So that's what I was thinking about the whole, what is futuristic? It's like I had to remind myself that when this was on TV, this was all absolute insanity, what we were seeing here.
Yes, yeah. And obviously, we see that at one point there's a fella doing, with the virtual reality goggles on and a glove, doing a virtuality meeting in the middle of a meeting, which we subsequently see Shanaz do in an episode.
Yeah.
How many years later? 4 years later, I think.
4 or 5 years, something like that. Yeah. Like it's a new thing, because it is.
Yeah.
All this stuff is really just only happening in Japan, apparently, and nowhere else. It's way beyond. Now, as it is, I mean, the fact that we've seen this building before makes me wonder. Is like, this isn't really an office building. This is like a Potemkin village set up by NEC to show off all this technology. These are just all actors. You know, this is what do they call it? A false flag operation.
Yes. Well, speaking of actors, there is one actor.
There is.
Who
I do want to come to him.
Who, this is actually the second time we've seen him already. We saw him just before, in the previous segment, getting frustrated. Getting frustrated with the amount of work he had to do.
Yeah. Work. It's all work.
And in this one, you see him rushing in and talking to his boss, presumably in a boardroom.
Yep.
He's at the what would you say, the more expressive end of the acting scale. He's not.
Yes, comédie de l'art, comédie de l'art kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know whether he's a professionally trained actor or whether he's just some fella they found, some local.
Well, we don't get any name. He's lost
no.
the ages, sadly. Because actually at moments he's quite subtle. Later on, his last bit on screen, he gives a really subtle side eye to the camera with kind of a withering look, which I quite liked. Yeah, he's brilliant, actually. I really like him. Initially I was thinking like, I don't need this kind of pantomime. It's like, by the 4th or 5th time I'd seen this episode, I was like, oh, there he is. I love him. Who are you, sir? Who are you?
Yeah. It's funny though, because even though we're seeing this incredible futuristic stuff, the thing that dates it is when there's that one scene where the lift doors open and we see the office. And it's just a sea of beige plastic, where all of the CRT monitors and beige plastic computers. Yeah. And that will never look futuristic ever, Mark. I don't think that'll ever come round in the same way that I don't think our TVs will ever have wooden surrounds on them ever again.
No.
I don't think beige plastic will ever come round as the fashionable thing to make your computers.
It's amazing because it wasn't that long ago, right? Though,
no.
Even up until like the early 2000s, beige plastic was basically all you could get.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder what that is. Don't know what they're thinking of that. But yeah, you are. What you're just saying is this NEC Supertower just some sort of
proof of concept?
Yeah. You go on the NEC website now. All they do is bang on about how great their Supertower is.
Really?
Yeah. Built in 1990. It is the 3,653rd tallest building in the world.
Okay.
But it gives you a tour. It gives you a tour of the building and their technology now, and it's basically facial recognition city, Mark.
Of course. So
NEC are very proud of their facial recognition technology. They reckon it's the best in the world. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's what they claim. They reckon their NEC...
Bet the Chinese have something to say about that.
NEC Eye Delight, it's called.
Oh.
So when you walk in the building, if you're a member of staff, it'll recognise you. Even if you're wearing a face mask, it'll just recognise you anyway. If you've got a guest, they have to pre-register their face. Then when they come in, the building will recognise them. And then once they go in, rather than them having to wait in reception, it will just guide them to whatever meeting room they're going to. So there's not people loitering around. If member of staff, if you go to, there's obviously a shop and a cafe in there.
Nice.
Go to shop and a cafe. You don't need to get your cash out or your whatever. Facial recognition will recognise you going in there. It will scan your items. It will see your face, and it will just deduct the cost from your salary straight away.
Oh, how fun!
yeah. And then everyone doesn't necessarily have their own desks, but you've got workstations with all the computer and everything set up. You walk up to the workstation, it recognises your face, and then the computer turns into all your desktop and everything.
Yeah,
all does it that itself. There's loading cameras which can see how busy different parts of the business are. So if you're hungry, fancy a sandwich, you can just check to see how busy the sandwich shop is before you go down there. A bit like, like they have on trains and stuff. That's quite useful.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other thing is that when your details come up on the screen, for security reasons, it doesn't have your name or any identifying written information. Every person, and I've got an example of this at the bottom, is ascribed a geometric pattern.
Is that what that is?
Yes. So that is that's two different staff members' geometric patterns.
Okay.
And so you would obviously you'd recognise, oh, that's mine, so you'd know that's yours. Yeah. But no spy or anything or dodgy person could look over your shoulder and find out who you are. So that's what that is. All this. So it's still a very technological building, Mark. I don't think it can fly like it does at the end of this. Like it does at the end of this segment.
Oh, I can't believe they decided to opt out of that functionality there.
Yeah. Well, that does. I mean, apart from looking like a big chopper, it does also look a bit like the gun out of an arcade game, doesn't it? Like Space Invaders or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, like a cannon.
Yeah.
Or the great film Pixels.
Yeah. Well, actually, the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bit where they're talking about collaborating over designing stuff.
Yeah.
And they appear to be collaborating over designing the worst car you've ever seen in your life. What's that? What's that all about?
It's an appalling kind of MS Art, MS Paint style picture of like a convertible car that they've used a red paintbrush to paint, and then they've added an arrow, and then somebody's written in black "Cull Blue," which I just think is brilliant. I do like the fact that the one thing I did really enjoy is and the latest buzz technology, virtual reality, and I just think like it'll always, till the day I die, virtual reality will always be the latest buzz technology that never really finds any utility whatsoever.
No, yeah, especially if the graphic quality was that as bad as that.
Surprised Craig Charles didn't jump out and shout a wooga.
We really ought to do an episode of Cyberzone one day.
We really should.
This high-tech, hard-working image is all very well, but if there's one thing I knew about Tokyo before I arrived, it's that at 5'2", it's the only city in the world where I can get a decent game of basketball. Unfortunately for me, physiques in the land of the rising sun are changing. Can I have my ball back, please?
Hey! Come now!
The Japanese are getting bigger. A Western-style diet means Tokyo teenagers are causing problems at school. The Ministry of Education has had to increase the size of desks and chairs 4 times in recent years. For manufacturers, it's the new-sized man on the street that's the problem. Market research is needed for worried trouser manufacturers, wondering if their 42 medium long is long enough, and bed makers fretting about their customers keeping their feet in their futons.
What these companies need are facts, hard figures. But being by nature a reserved people, you can hardly just stand around on the street corner trying to get inside leg measurements. But where modesty forbids, technology allows. This is a body measurement caravan. By the end of next year, this one and its twin will have sized up 50,000 Japanese nationwide. Inside, they measure every detail of the body, and I do mean every detail. Sorry, if you're coming in, no peeking. Well, there you are, inside that caravan. I had all these things measured.
Yes, we know.
What do you mean you already know?
Oops.
You were watching, weren't you? Oh, come back.
And when you first watched this segment, Mark. Did you expect it to end on a robot Peeping Tom?
No, that game was quite a pleasant surprise, Ross.
It's a bit of a... Well, actually, hang on. So, let's think about the logic of this, because throughout this piece, it seems like the cameraman is trying to because the cameraman tries to follow her into the van,
and she
says no
puts
peeking.
her hand and says no peeking, yeah. And the cameraman walks away.
And the cameraman walks away. So is the robot? Because then there's a robot that the cameraman then views, but the robot giggles. Was the robot goading on the cameraman? Are they in cahoots? What's the logic here?
Or is the cameraman possessed by the spirit of the robot? Gosh, you know, it's weird. How odd that the more you analyse this, the more it seems to fall apart and have no internal logic, Ross. I don't understand. No. Cut this out, Ross. This just doesn't work for me.
Also, my other question for you, Mark, is do you think this measuring device or machine or apparatus, you call it, is it more or less accurate than whatever was used to measure up Peter Snow and Lindsay Fallow for genes in that previous episode?
Which is set, like 6-7 years in the future?
Yeah, but I believe it was in New York or San Francisco? San Francisco, they got measured up in. So
I feel very confident, Russ, that this caravan designed and built by the Japanese government is absolutely going to be 100% more accurate.
Would it?
I suspect that if Kate was being measured for genes, she'd walk out with the best goddamn gym she ever wore.
But being a Japanese, focused on Japanese people, would it accommodate Peter Snow? Or would he break the limit of their height measurement machine?
I suspect he would, wouldn't he? Yeah, they'd have a real problem measuring that swing armature of his, right?
Yeah.
Etc. Should we read out? Because again, there was quite a lot where it was just music.
Yes,
So we see one of these kind of large caravans, which I don't know. It's like one of those kind of blood donation trucks that you might see in a car park
a library lorry.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. And Kate goes in, she's wearing kind of a black swimming costume, and she's being measured up in all these different ways, and, standing up against stuff. And all this text turns up, appears on screen and says, this caravan is part of a £3 million project. Lasers measure every contour of the body in seconds. 179 measurements are taken. And then we see a Chiron at the bottom, kind of scrolling along, listing all various different things, like one of those great adverts for, an album that you can't buy in shops.
And many, many more.
And many, many more. So it says height, weight, ear length, nasal depth, neck girth, eye height, shoulder slope, waist breadth, fingertip height, wrist thickness, foot, and then it just fades out. So we'll never know what the others are.
What do you reckon? I mean...
Do I believe it that in seconds? Well, the thing is, she it says 179 measurements are taken. We see Kate in lots of different poses.
Yeah, and the nurse is moving around to different machines.
Absolutely. It does not do it. It kind of implies that it does this in one go. It does not. She's got to be in there for half an hour, if not an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. Mark. Well, at the beginning, obviously, we see her playing basketball. With quite a good gag, I think.
It's a good one.
In that you don't know, you can't tell that those basketball players are much taller than her until she comes up against them. But what that led me to find out, Mark, which I thought was very interesting, is did you know that the tallest NBA basketball player of all time was Japanese?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I know there was a very tall Chinese guy recently, but I didn't know Japanese. No, gosh, how tall is tall?
Yasutaka Okayama. He was 7'8".
Jeez,
the tallest man to ever be drafted to the NBA. And I've got a picture of him at the bottom there.
He is remarkably tall. Oh, it's freakish. And that's the only word I can... At that height, you can't be an athlete anymore, really, can you?
No, he didn't actually spend all that much, that long playing, to be honest. He's still around, though. He still gives talks and stuff like that. But then, obviously, it's led me to, look into extremes of Japanese people. So next to him,
Body shapes with Alan Partridge style. Go on.
Yeah. Next to him, I've got
that was Lady Shapes.
The heaviest Japanese person of all time, and that is Yamamotoyama Ryuta. Obviously, sumo wrestler.
Sumo wrestler, yeah.
It's a bit of a shame that the Sun don't have page 3 anymore, to be honest, Mark.
I suppose he's well endowed, isn't he?
Certainly is. He weighed, At his peak, he's still alive. At his peak, though, he weighed 265 kilograms.
That seems like a lot of kilograms.
That's a fair old amount, isn't it, Mark? It's a fair amount.
And he was an athlete.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good player.
I'm sure you even recently saw that sumo was in London, and you must have enjoyed the pictures of all the sumo wrestlers out and about being tourists.
Oh no, I didn't see that. No.
Oh, did you not see this?
No.
Yeah. So for only the second time ever, there was a proper, legitimate sumo bout outside Japan, and weirdly, the last time it was also outside Japan was also at the Royal Albert Hall about 25 years ago. So I expect they're probably going to do it quite often. I don't know why, but you know. So actually, it happened while we were in Japan. So I was waking up and I'd see all these pictures of all these kind of sumo wrestlers out and about in their traditional dress. Because the thing about being a sumo wrestler is that there's lots and lots of rules, and you have to follow them all, and you have to dress a certain way. But they were out on like Lime bikes, big, huge, gigantic men. Like what's that Beryl, whatever her name is? You know, that artist.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Fat ladies and bikes and stuff like that. They were out like that, and they were stopping off, and they were having like fish and chip suppers, and they looked like they were having the absolute time of their lives.
They might be the only people that can actually get through all of the chips in a standard fish and chip supper. Because
yeah, no one else can.
You always
You're
get
right.
too many chips, don't you?
Yeah. He said, "Oh, Ross, it's the secret shame none of us ever say. What are you doing?"
But yeah, no, Kate is right. Japanese people are growing in general, not just these freaks that I've got here. The average 17-year-old boy in 1926 was 5'2" and weighed 52 kilos, and in 2024 he was 5'6" and weighed 62 kilos. So you know, but I always wonder. Obviously, that's the case with all countries.
Yeah,
but is that just going to continue happening? Like, is every generation going to be taller than the last? It seems to be. It's still happening.
I mean, my understanding is it's all to do with diet, right? So as long as diets are improving, surely we will get taller and like stronger or whatever. I assume there's a point where we tap out, because the thing is, like, once you get to kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to say like 6'5", you do start to look a bit freakish.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe that's the limit, isn't it? Bullying.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you're
once you're
6'6",
bullying
I apologise.
heights,
I'm not talking about you.
Once you're bullying
Yeah,
heights,
exactly. Yeah.
then-
That's right. Because obviously, at some point, it's great to be high, right? It's great to be tall, and you can bully other people when you're tall. But at some point, you become a freak, and you now are the victim of bullying. I don't know what that point is. It's a good. What a great way of. Brilliant, Ross. I love your system.
I mean, there's not much about that segment, is there? Kate gets measured in a van.
That's it.
And a robot tries to peek in on her.
He successfully peeks at it, because we all see it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's it, really. Shall we, I'm feeling peckish, Mark. Shall we get on to the next segment?
Yep. What a great idea.
Spring passes, and the birds cry out. Tears in the eyes of fishes.
Sushi, about 25 million family-sized servings each week. It's Japanese fast food, but it's a craft it takes years to learn, and a taste it takes years to acquire. Originally a way of preserving old fish, now for the sushi su, person of extreme knowledgeability, it's the way to eat fresh fish. And the best fish for sushi are the freshest possible.
There is a downside though. Yen. Fish no longer frolic in Tokyo Bay. So a live sole, for instance, here at Tsukiji Market, has to be flown in.
They're transported in great big tanks of water, and some of them cost up to £200. But a sixth of that's the cost of the water's airfare.
The price of fish is so high, it's killing off a great culinary tradition. Sushi might be saved by a miracle, but it'll take the raising of the living dead.
First written about by the ancient Greeks. A condition in which an animal's metabolic activity seems temporarily to halt. It appears dead, but then it can be revived. Since the beginning of the 19th century, there's been a wealth of scientific literature on the subject, showing how all kinds of plants and animals can come back to life after being frozen. An adaptation to survive changing seasons. In 1912, the Russians defined it as the anabiosis phenomenon. And in 1990, the Japanese, always rather good at applying other people's discoveries, found a use for it, transporting fish for restaurants. Take freshly caught live fish, lay them flat in trays, and then cover with brine. Slowly reduce the water temperature to just above freezing. After several hours, the fish will slow down and their gill movements will halt. Because they've almost stopped breathing, they hardly need any oxygen, which means they can survive out of water. Pack them carefully in polystyrene boxes, add an ice bag, and they're ready to go. The fish inside these boxes have been out for 12 hours now. They're not stirring, hardly breathing. And anabiosis can go wrong. They have to be frozen gradually, or else ice crystals form inside the cells, destroying them. And now they have to be revived very slowly. And there they go, alive, flapping, and very, very fresh. It may just be a scientific miracle, but it means the sushi Sue can still eat fresh fish. And as long as fish still frolic somewhere on Earth, there'll be a market here for the resurrection of the soul.
Now, even to this day, whenever I see any sort of Japanese food being prepared by a Japanese person, all it makes me think of is the Fugu episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
But I'm assuming when you were over in Japan, you enjoyed the odd plate of sushi or two, did you?
Did principally sashimi, but yeah, absolutely lashings of the stuff. Yeah, absolutely, because it's bloody delicious,
and it's relatively inexpensive, isn't it? Am I right thinking?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not expensive, and it's not a taste that takes years to acquire, and it's not possibly under threat of not being provided. Whatever it is he says at the beginning is a scare tactic.
Yeah, I have to say I dispute the acquired taste. Maybe in 1993 you could say it was an acquired taste because it was probably. I mean, I can't imagine that many people. It was still a bit of a trend.
Well, probably
it was
not.
A bit of a trendy, yuppie food back then, wasn't it? Really?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Along with like cordon bleu or whatever. Yeah. But now it's like part of Tesco's meal deal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Little sushi things. I think it's the taste. It does not take years to acquire.
No, because it's just.
I suppose it's the cultural taste.
Sweet rice with fish on it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like?
And raw fish tastes delicious. It's only when you cook it does it start to get fucked up.
When you put it in the office microwave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you reheat it. It's just, I think what takes time to acquire is, I think to a lot of British not palates, but to British sensibilities, the idea of eating something that is not cooked is what is the barrier. It's not the taste or the texture; it's the fact that it isn't cooked.
Yeah.
I think once you have it for the first time, and I remember it was a bit of tuna somebody gave to me, and they said basically it's like just imagine, just think that basically along the lines of like this is like one of the best bits of steak you'll ever have, and just imagine the steak is rare.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll give it a go, and of course, like it was absolutely delicious. It was like, oh my god, where has this been all my life?
Yeah. Have you seen that? It's in, I think, Notting Hill or somewhere like that. It's a fishmonger's.
Yes.
But then
it's in a supermarket.
Oh,
right?
it's a supermarket
during the day, and then at night,
then they just get a van, and then they just bring in an entire tuna.
They just and then you start chomping away at it.
Yeah.
I have
I'm
seen
not sure about that.
It does sound amazing.
Yeah, I don't know that looked. I watched the video of it. It looked a bit too much like it was some sort of secret murder party. You know what I mean?
Well, all these things do happen in West London.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of thing. Those horror films where they abduct people and then murder them, but it's a fish rather than a person. Anyway, oh yes, I'm glad you managed to identify what that yellow one was, because there's one. He makes a yellow one.
Yeah,
and I think that looked really tasty. What was it? Yeah. Sea anemone?
Sea urchin.
Sea urchin. Yeah.
Which I've now had
I want
twice.
to try that one.
First time I had it in London, it was a special on the board, and we thought, oh, let's all give it a go. And it was moderately pricey, and none of us liked it. Texture was unpleasant, and the flavour didn't make up for it.
Right.
We had it when we were in Nagasaki. On my birthday, we went out for a really lovely meal, and it was one of these kind of chef's choice, where it's a tasting menu, basically, by other words. But the idea is the chef has put together this menu, and you get what you're given. And one of the items was sea urchin, and it was stunning. It was so tasty. The texture was mind blowing. The flavour was incredible. I would give it another go. I'm glad that when you looked at it, you thought it looked delicious.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
I can assure you. 50% of the time, Russ, it definitely is.
The other thing I like about sushi is apparently traditionally it's meant to be eaten with their fingers.
Yes.
Because I cannot abide using chopsticks, Mark. I think they're an absolutely useless invention.
Oh, somebody asked us actually through a translation device, much like when we went travelling around New England. If anyone ever asks where we're from or where I'm from, I always say London, because London is everyone understands London, and and to a man and woman of them, they're all London. They always say London, wow, and they always look impressed, especially because where we went was. But by European standards, or by Western tourist standards, slightly off the beaten track.
Yeah.
Not that we were on adventures, just it's not Tokyo, Kyoto, or Osaka, right? So people were like, oh, and actually a fair few of them all said the same thing as, wow, you've come a long way. It's like, yeah, we have come a long way. But, look at us. Yeah. But someone asked us, do people use chopsticks in London, all the time, basically?
I would have gone, only pretentious twats.
Well, it's like, well, I didn't say that, and nor did I say, "Oh, we have a cupboard full of the damn things that we use." We use when we have the right.
Ears.
I had to say, "I'm really sorry." No, unfortunately not. Unless people are out having Japanese or Chinese food. But I just thought it was really sweet that they kind of didn't necessarily they must have seen pictures of people in London eating with a knife and fork.
If it can't be eaten with a spoon, Mark, I'm not eating it. That's my hands or a spoon.
Yeah,
that's my.
Well, you're from gypsy stock, Ross, aren't you? So the spoon is the only honest utensil, right?
If I can't whittle my own cutlery, then that's
then you can't trust it.
You can't trust it. No, could have been anywhere. Anyway, sushi, Mark. This is quite interesting because I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm surprised that this didn't already. The idea of chilling a fish to make it go to sleep seems like a pretty obvious thing to do.
I suspect they've been doing this for donkey's years.
Yeah, I think maybe maybe there's something to do with the fact that they have to chill it in a special way, because he worries about ice crystals forming inside it and things like that. So I think maybe that's the sort of thing that they had trouble doing. But yeah, I mean, they do it now, Mark. There's I don't know whether they did it before this. But they definitely do it now. I don't think they necessarily do it with everything. I think you can. I think stuff's still transported the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
But I found a company in South Korea called Hyber Fish, and they transport hibernating fish, Mark. And They luckily had a video of the process, which I will show you now, Mark.
Ooh.
Job done, Mark.
Gosh.
Yeah, so I actually, at the bottom of the document, I did, because I thought that was, I agree with you. I think the packaging design is incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
So there was just 3 examples there of their different fish packages. Noticeably...
They are well placed.
Whoa. They are all flatfish.
They are, yeah.
And on the website of Hyberfish, they said that they can transport olive flounder, starry flounder, turbot, or abalone. Our old friend, abalone. So discounted abalone because they're not even a fish. It's a giant snail, Mark, if you might remember.
I do remember.
The other 3 things are all flatfish. I couldn't find out why it's only. There must be maybe something about them that is better.
There's systems that are they're more conducive to this hibernation.
Yeah, and there must be. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because they're the only things I could find they use this procedure for. There is another procedure. That's that green box there next to them. That green.
Yeah.
So that's a different thing that they can use, and that's called a gyokatsu box. Which means live fish box. You can rent them for €40 a day equivalent, and you can carry 300 kilos of live fish in there for 40 hours. And the way they work is that they pump very, very fine bubbles of CO2 and oxygen into the water, and it makes the fish fall asleep. And amusingly, when the fish fall asleep, they start floating upside down. But that also means that they don't swim around. They just kind of just lay there upside down. So you can just pack loads of them into the water. and they don't wee everywhere. So the water doesn't need changing all the time. So that's another way of transporting them as well. But yeah, other than that, they still use just the normal water transport methods, but they chill the water a bit to stop them moving around so much. It's a pretty decent success, I have to say, Mark. The interesting thing about why you wouldn't see any of this in Europe or America is that it's a legal requirement to freeze fish solid after you've caught them. So there's no point in having any of this because you're going to have to freeze it at some point because there's concern about parasites, Mark. Mm-hmm. So it's a legal requirement if you've got a raw fish you've just caught, you have to freeze it to below minus 20 degrees C for at least 24 hours to kill any parasites that are inside it. So what normally happens is when they catch them, the boats have got flash freezers on them. They immediately flash freeze the fish at sea and bring them in then. So there's not really much use for this technology anywhere outside Japan, because Japan's the only place that doesn't have, the main place that doesn't have any rules against freezing fish. But obviously, then you go, well, why haven't Japanese people all got...
Yeah, fish parasites.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So it turns out that if it's just mainstream fish for sushi, then they do the freezing thing. It's only really expensive sushi fish that they do the live thing. And with that, it's reliant on the chef being such a good chef that he can see the parasites when he cuts the fish and removes them by hand.
Gosh.
Don't know whether they're doing a great job of that, Mark, because I saw an article in the Tokyo Weekender from September the 4th this year saying there's been a 10-fold increase in cases of anisakis parasites from raw fish, which there's 20,000 people a year affected. And the anisakis is a very, very fine worm that lives in the gut of fish. Mm-hmm. Obviously, human eats the raw fish, gets in their gut, but because it's not designed for a human gut, it's too weak to get through our gut wall. So it hits our gut wall and usually dies or just wiggles around a bit. Our immune response is triggered, and you end up with a solid ball forming around it, which then gets trapped in your gut. And apparently it's unbelievably painful. It's ridiculously painful.
That sounds horrible.
And you start vomiting and loads of pain. You can't eat anything and all of that. So be careful there, Mark. I mean, you're lucky to have come home from Japan without a belly full of parasitic balls. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you didn't go to posh enough restaurants and you actually had the frozen stuff secretly,
Oh, they did all look like fish fingers.
I wonder what a raw fish finger tastes like. Probably right, isn't it?
Same as a cooked one, just cold.
Yeah, just with really sloppy breadcrumbs. You probably start suck them on like a lollipop.
Ooh.
Oh yes, and the other thing, of course, Mark. The other thing we should never forget And did we mention him last episode or episode before? Jeremy Piven. And his
we did
his overconsumption,
his tragic mercury poisoning,
overconsumption of sushi.
Yeah.
I just looked into quite obviously the reason that the sushi will poison you potentially is that quite a lot of it contains tuna. Tuna being a predatory fish, it eats fish lower down the food chain. And I think mercury's obviously in seawater, and it gets concentrated the further up the food chain it goes. So if you just eat like a normal fish that's swimming around, a haddock or a cod or whatever, they won't have a huge amount of mercury in it. But if you eat something that eats them, then that's going to have more mercury in it. So the bigger, the older, the more predatory the fish, the more mercury is inside it. So tunas have quite a lot of mercury inside them. So I found a chart that told you how much of these things you could eat. Apparently, I put in my weight and height and age.
Yeah.
I can eat 5 cans of tuna a week and I won't get mercury poisoning.
As in the normal kind of John West style. Yeah. Okay.
However, shark, I can't even eat 1 serving of shark a week, or swordfish. A shark contains 157%. Like 1 serving of shark contains 157% of my weekly dose of mercury, and a swordfish is even worse, 159% of my weekly dose of mercury.
Wow.
So I'm gonna have to really cut down on my shark and swordfish consumption. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a real tragedy. But obviously, I've sent an email to Jeremy Piven telling him to stay well away.
It's not too late. He can still fulfil his obligation to that play. Yeah.
He should be eating. Just eat fish lower down the food chain. Shellfish, absolutely fine. You can eat as much shellfish as you like.
Have at it, Jez.
Yeah, just stay away from anything.
Fill your boots, big guy.
Anything with teeth, don't eat it. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's a good way of putting it. Anything with sharp teeth, stay away.
Yeah. Which then makes you think, have they got mercury in there? That's used for fillings in teeth, isn't it?
But it was.
Is there a connection anymore into that? Also, sushi is the 3rd most popular food item in Australia after hot dogs and pizza. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, hot dogs and pizza and then sushi.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw a whale shark at an aquarium in Japan, Russ, and it was absolutely as brilliant as you think it is.
Did it have its mouth open?
It was 9 meters long. It did. 9 meters long it was. It was bloody. Just watching it go by was hypnotic.
Was there just a row of Japanese chefs in their whites sharpening their knives?
Salivating.
Oh, that's
No, sadly not.
That has just reminded me. In his voiceover, Howard says sushi Sue.
Sushi Sue, yeah.
As in a sous chef who serves sushi.
Yeah, for sushi. However...
Is that a pun on Susie Sue, or is that pure coincidence?
I think it's because you're right. He calls the chef in the restaurant where we see our actor man salivating at the mouth, sushi Sue. But then he also seems to use the same phrase, sushi Sue, to describe consumers of sushi. Oh. So I suspect somebody has told him a mistruth. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, it's a nice phrase to hear and say, but no, I think it's probably just coincidence.
Oh, okay. Because he does do that joke about soul and soul. I don't know.
Yes, which is good.
You don't know whether Howard's just weaving in clever wordplay.
I know. I always want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think this might be not correct. He does have the option and the opportunity to write in and complain if we're wrong, of course. And we're traducing him, but
and at the beginning of this segment, there's a poem. And somebody is saying it in a Japanese, sort of Japanese.
I mean, I don't want to make a pun, but a cod Japanese accent.
Is that just Kate putting on a voice?
No, it's not Kate. I have a good ear for voice. It's not Kate. I actually do think it is a Japanese person doing it, but I think they've been asked to go above and beyond their normal accent.
Do you think 1993 is too late for the BBC to be having people putting on accents? Or do you think no, it's not, is it?
No, not at all. No, definitely not. No.
Especially with Japanese people. I mean, it's not even...
Yeah, they don't count, right?
They don't really mind you if you're racist towards them.
What does he say? You rightly pointed out he uses a kind of an old stereotype. Oh yeah, an old accusation. And in 1990, the Japanese, always rather good at applying other people's discoveries, found a use for it.
Yeah.
Which you're right, was definitely something that was kind of thrown
always
at
accusing the Japanese of copying
that
us all the time, weren't we?
They just copied, they copied and perfected, but they could never innovate.
Yeah.
And that has gone now. No one ever accuses them of that anymore, do they?
Yeah.
But you're right, that was definitely a thing where it's like, they don't come up with their own ideas, they just steal other people's.
Yeah. I don't know whether that's just based on the fact that they I don't know, started making cars later than us or something. I don't know. It's like a weird accusation.
It's really weird, right?
Because everybody builds on everybody else in terms of inventing stuff, really, aren't they? It's not like they were wholesale ripping off our intellectual property in the same way that the Chinese came and started doing.
No, I mean, I definitely think they were ahead of the curve when it came to ethno-national fascism. So,
well, full up now, Mark. So let's relax with a nice medical segment.
Yeah.
Every year, over 50,000 premature babies are born in Japan. Last year, one Tokyo hospital celebrated the youngest ever, a little girl born almost 5 months early and weighing just 11 ounces.
The technology that allows us to keep such tiny babies alive has been pushing back the limits for years now. Doctors here in Japan have embraced it with increasing enthusiasm, as the little girl's case shows.
But there is a physical limit to how far back in a baby's development these incubators and ventilators can help. Before about 20 weeks, their lungs are blocked, and so totally dependent on their mother's blood supply for oxygen, they can't survive outside the womb.
To push beyond that limit, scientists would have to step into a sort of brave new world where premature babies are born and supported in an artificial womb. And that's exactly what they're planning to do at Tokyo University.
Here, a research team has started a series of experiments with animals that they hope will prove an artificial womb is possible. It's doubtful that such research could take place in Britain without widespread public debate. But although some people may find the following scenes disturbing, there's been little discussion about it in Japan. Beside the operating table is the artificial womb, a fluid-filled bath kept at body temperature. And next to it is a blood bypass machine for oxygenating the blood and providing nutrients. The operation starts with a caesarean on a pregnant goat. First, the surgeon finds the umbilical cord, then cuts it, separating the fetus from the mother and reconnecting it directly to the bypass machine.
Now the fetus is moved from the mother to the chamber.
In human terms, this baby goat is little over 20 weeks old and is completely reliant on the machines around it for life. The researchers have already shown that it could be kept developing underwater for up to 4 weeks until its lungs are ready to breathe air. But although this device can keep the fetus alive, it can't hope to mimic all the physical and chemical communication that normally takes place between mother and the growing fetus. With so many questions still unanswered about this complex relationship, there's little chance that artificial wombs are about to appear next to the incubators in Tokyo hospitals. As for the ethics and desirability of such work, here that's traditionally left up to the experts.
However, if Japan wants to take a lead in such biological research, it will need to lead the public debate too.
Now, Mark, we're used to goat meaning greatest of all time. I think here it means gestating on a table. What do you reckon?
Oh, well done, Russell Cope. Yeah,
and you can tell it's an important experiment that they're doing there because they put newspaper down before they start.
What is that all about?
It's so funny. They've got all of this all this technology,
really
high-tech stuff around them.
It's all really advanced.
They're wearing like surgical scrubs and masks and everything like that. And then they just put some old newspaper down on the table.
Newspaper down. So weird.
Yeah. And why goat, Mark? Why goats? I did look into this.
And what did you learn?
It is because they're notoriously tough and easy to look after, and their gestation period is shorter than a lot of other similar-sized mammals. so basically, yes, if you're doing an experiment like this, it's probably easier to breed and raise a goat than it is a pig or a cow or a similar sized animal. The goat is the easiest to deal with in these, and they tend to they've got better immune systems and things like that. So it's probably not going to. It's got a better chance of survival when you're messing about with it. Basically,
feels like it's less of a test then, right? Like, shouldn't you pick like a really sensitive baby? And if you nail that, then anyway. By the way, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. This goat baby does not survive this procedure.
No. I think it might be some delicious goat sashimi after, within less than a month. Obviously, medical segment. So we tend to not to be that interested. This actually is quite short and to the point, and got none of that emotional nonsense in it. So
no, just the facts.
Just the facts, ma'am. So I didn't bother me at all, really. Kate keeps touching on how it's ethically, how the Japanese somehow don't give a monkeys about ethics, and whereas if we tried this in the West, it would be fraught with ethical concerns. That's essentially her point, isn't it? That she's making.
Yeah, that's the implication, I think.
Yeah. I can't.
There'll be a lot of pearl clutching in Europe, but over in Japan,
I mean, I can't really see. I mean, but can't be the animal experimentation aspect of it, because we experiment on animals all the time. So it must just be the idea of introducing a artificial, if it does eventually become a human thing.
Yeah, which inevitably, all these things lead up to that, right? I really don't think many people are overly concerned with premature goat babies.
No. But I mean, I can't see the problem. If it's going to save. If it's going to save a life.
The debate wouldn't be about saving premature babies, though. It would probably be about using an artificial womb to incubate an entirely new embryo.
Super race.
From, Well, then you get into design debate. That's why there would be a moral debate about this, Russ. Because you immediately, idiots like you would start imagining some kind of super race that they can create.
Imagining and planning.
Yeah, imagining and planning. I mean, one of the... Now that we've been allowed to live in a time when there are again, kind of white supremacists who have power. Surely one of the best things on the internet is looking at pictures of people who talk about white people are the master race, who are consistently the most ugliest inbred people.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So let's debate.
Yeah, actually, interestingly, I didn't notice the first time, but Kate actually says, this Brave New World. And of course, in Brave New World, they are, the babies are grown in, I think they're grown in bottles or jars, but that's only because of, the time it was written. So, yeah, I mean, artificial wombs. It's got an official name, ectogenesis, which obviously immediately made me think of Phil Collins dressed as a Ghostbuster.
Of course it did.
But there have been this experiment was one of the earlier ones that they tried. It's this Juntendo University. This is that they don't mention. I don't think Juntendo. That's good, isn't it?
It is good.
This was called the Extrauterine Fetal Incubation (EUFI), and it was successful in as much that they were able to keep the goats alive for 3 weeks. But then after 3 weeks, they started to get some sort of circulatory failure, along with other technical difficulties. But they were quite pleased with that. But then, about 20 years later, there's a bloke in America called Alan Flake, another good name, in 2017 in Philadelphia. And he went, lads, we need to stop fiddling around with the goats. I've got a new idea. Let's use a lamb instead. And that's what that's what the picture is at the bottom.
Oh, right.
So this is basically... essentially a boil in the bag lamb shank.
I know, yeah. That was my instinct. I was like, oh, boil in the bag.
Yeah, but as you can see, that is the same sheep lamb on the left and right. Yep. And you can see on the left, it is significantly younger. On the left, it's all pink and embryo-y looking. Yeah. And then on the right, it's got it's fully woolly. So, this worked. With this, they had to have an intact umbilical cord because he was attaching to the existing umbilical cord and then going to an artificial set of machines that then fulfilling the sort of processes that the mother ought to. He reckoned that could keep the lamb alive pretty much indefinitely. The problem is there's limits on how long you can test on animals, and that limit is 28 days. So after 28 days, they had to kill it. So, but he reckons that if he didn't have to kill it after 28 days, it would have, gone full.
He could have brought it to the boil.
Yeah, absolutely could have brought it to the boil.
Yeah. And then let it simmer.
Ready in time for Easter.
Yeah.
This article where he was talking about this, obviously an American article, and I think it was the New York Times actually, they were able to point to a number of ethical concerns that hadn't even crossed my mind, Mark.
Oh, how exciting.
Possibly because they come from an American perspective. So this is what the bioethicists say. Up to now, we've been either born or not born. This would be halfway born or something like that. Obviously, we talk about whether if we do this for humans. Mm-hmm. Think about that in terms of our abortion politics. There's also a danger such devices might be used coercively. States could theoretically require women getting abortions to put their fetuses into artificial wombs. This is the worst one. Employers could also require female employees to use artificial wombs to avoid maternity leave. Insurers could require use of the device to avoid costly, complicated pregnancies and deliveries. The ethical implications are just so far-reaching. So, if you live in a weird country where people are obsessed with working and medical costs, then I can see there might be some and an abortion.
Yeah.
I can see there might be some.
Thank God they're not having these moral debates.
Land of the free, Mark. Land of the free.
Yeah. I hadn't even thought about the coercive aspect of it because I was busy thinking about as an option for people who couldn't become pregnant, maybe the idea of the artificial womb, but then I was also thinking but we make such a point about the biological mother. Like it's always very easy to define who the biological mother of a child is because does that woman remember pushing them out of themselves? Yes, then you win. Whereas with the artificial womb, it's what does that mean about fatherhood and parenthood? And that kind of, and I was kind of reflecting on that kind of halfway state. I don't know. There's something particularly, the fact that you can see in as well just feels wrong. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ruining the surprise of it, isn't it?
The coercive. Yeah, exactly, yeah. That would really put an end to those kind of gender reveals. You just bring out from the womb and say, here to go, everyone can have a look. I hadn't even thought about the coercive element of it, or the bloody hell, ugh. Yeah. Creepy.
Coercively, that's the wrong word.
Coincidentally?
No. The word for reverse, the reverse of something. What is that word?
Piece of the sea? Paradoxically?
Can't remember. Anyway.
Okay.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, Mark.
Conversely,
there we go.
Conversely,
Mark. There have been some radical feminists say it's a good idea. There was a radical feminist in 1970 who was hoping for the introduction of the artificial womb. She was called Shula Smith Firestone. It's a good name.
That's a great name.
And she reckoned that an artificial womb would free women from the tyranny of their reproductive biology. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? A bit harsh on female biology to call it a tyranny.
It does feel a wee bit self-hating.
It's not a very feminist thing to say, really, is it? Anyway, but there are, I think, some good uses, Mark. You saw a good use, didn't you? Because you saw, when you were in Japan, by pure coincidence, was it in the aforementioned
the same aquarium. Okinawa Chorowami Aquarium, where we saw the giant whale shark. They actually are celebrated for their research into shark. I don't know what you call it, where you create new things of something else. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, but coincidentally, we were in this section because within the whale shark aquarium there were sharks. But of course, that would be the star of the show if you were in Brighton Sea Life Centre.
Absolutely.
But not in
kids putting their hands in, getting their fingers bitten off.
Natch. Yes. Yeah, but they're celebrated for their research program into developing and growing baby sharks. And coincidentally, as we were in there, there was a section of the display that they weren't real; they were mock-ups. But there was a section where you could see the artificial wombs they grew these shark embryos in. Which, I mean, had it not been for the fact that I had seen this show a few days earlier in the train, I wouldn't have given two shits to. The thing that amused me was you could see, I've sent you the pictures. You can see into the little hole. Yeah. They were developing embryos in these little kind of not dissimilar to your vacuum sealed lamb picture, but maybe just smaller. But what I loved about it, and I was thinking about it there when you were showing me the video of the hibernating fish and the way that they added in, wow, the Japanese, and I think it gets worse every time I go, they cannot stop creating cute little figures to be the mascots of
anything
and everything. And it doesn't matter how appropriate the company is for a mascot, or conversely, how inappropriate a company is or an organization is for a mascot. They're going to get a mascot, and they're going to be cute and adorable. And so even the fake shark, the fake wombs that they had created, or artificial wombs, probably they're not fake, they're real, they're just artificial, had with it their own cute scientist figure that they had on the boards, which amused me greatly.
Yeah.
Because when you watch this, it's incredibly serious, except for the newspaper bit. It's very serious. You think about all the moral quandaries that are involved in it, some of which you and I hadn't even considered, and are even worse than we possibly could have imagined. And then a mere 30 years later, let's not talk about that. Here's a cute scientist figure to tell you all about how it's a great thing.
Yeah, so I looked into those shark wombs in particular, and it turns out that those ones there in Japan, what's happening there is that that fishermen accidentally catch and kill a mother shark, and it's because 70% of sharks give birth to live sharks. Only 30% lay eggs. Obviously, most fish lay eggs, but sharks, because they're so big, give the live births. But sometimes fishermen actually catch or kill a pregnant mother shark, so they donate the shark to the aquarium, and then there's live embryos inside it, and they use the wombs to try and raise these shark embryos. But the technology had previously been developed in Australia for an entirely different problem they had with sharks there. Because it turns out that some breeds of shark, endangered breeds of shark, perform a thing called intrauterine cannibalism. Oh, did you know about this?
Is this where baby sharks eat other sharks within the womb themselves?
Yeah.
I read about it at the aquarium.
Yeah. So a shark typically most sharks have 2 uteri.
Yep.
And they'll have 40 embryos, but they'll only give birth to 2 sharks because those 2 sharks have eaten all of their brothers and sisters in the womb.
All their brothers and sisters, yeah.
And also, so the scientists came along and said, look, there's only this particular type of shark. It's called the nurse shark, I think it is.
Yes, that was the one I was reading about, yes.
They went, right, what we'll do is before these lads get eaten, we'll extract them and put them in their own separate false wombs so that they,
separate them. They're going to separate them. Right?
Break it up, lads, break it up.
Yeah.
And let them grow to try and build up these populations a bit more.
Yeah.
So I thought that's a great use for a womb, Mark. Great use for a womb. Actually, you could just chuck a goat in there to feed them a bit, couldn't you?
Like the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And the weird thing is, I think, because again, it was about the nurse shark. There was the display at the aquarium, and they were talking about the 2 uteruses, and they weren't necessarily saying that the sharks were eating the siblings so much as like they seem to the implication seemed to be heavily very much along the lines of like there's only really one fertilized egg, and the others are all unfertilized. So it's not, don't worry about it. Don't think too hard. The thing that really impressed me about the nurse shark, and I may be getting this wrong because I didn't write this down or take the picture because I didn't think it would come up. They, as you say, live births as well. So they're unusual in that they have eggs, but they give live birth, or they do live births. Before the shark is given birth to, you can often be seen popping its head out and looking out.
Cooey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's like a picture of like this nurse shark, this big giant nurse shark, and this tiny little cute head just popping its head out just to have a look.
Yeah. No, not today. It looks a bit chilly out there.
Not today. No, no, mum. No, mum. I don't want to go to school.
Yeah, and the other good use of this, also in the animal kingdom, is that if you're going to bring back an extinct animal, you might.
This is the way to do it, right?
The way to do it. There's a company called Colossus. It's a startup. It claims to be. It's got a very over the top website called Colossal Biosciences, based in Dallas, Texas. and they're going to try and bring back basically any extinct animal you can name. They're trying to bring it back. But if you're trying to bring back like a woolly mammoth or a saber-toothed tiger, there's not really any existing.
They don't hatch from eggs, right?
Yeah, they don't hatch from eggs, and there's not really any existing animals you could use to surrogate them. But especially a saber-toothed tiger, there's nothing. You could conceivably put a woolly mammoth inside a big elephant, but no, a saber-toothed tiger you don't be putting anything. So they need to come up with fake wombs to grow these things in. So they're working on those there. But I don't know. If you look at their website, the whole thing smacks of. I'm not sure about it, Mark. I'm not sure about it. I think it might just be a big money-making scam. But yeah, no, that's. I'll try to think of a womb pun. Come on, Mark. That's all we've got womb for. No, I don't know.
Well, Ross, seeing as I haven't seen these used in hospitals for premature babies, it sounds like there's a bit of room for improvement.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Excellent. Well done.
Welcome to Game Wars, Howard. Your mission is to conquer all television sets in the West. Please remove all sharp objects from your person. Now, choose your game. Oh, Pac-Man, from the early 80s. You have to do better. That's more like it. Mid-80s Nintendo. Mario has now taken over in 10% of UK homes. Now add more processing power. More color, more speed, more violence. Nice shooting, Howard. But watch out, there is a threat. Nintendo's monstrous market has attracted real competition. Sega is now biting into their profits. The 90s, Sega had stolen a technological lead with CD games. CD technology now gives you 200 times the processing power. So goodbye graphics, you can start playing with real pictures.
How could you let that happen?
Megan is dead. You could have saved her.
Y'all ready for this?
The game continues. Every TV couch potato is a target in Game Wars.
Shut the tubes, dog meat!
The hotline is smoking.
Things are getting really weird around here.
Miggity, Mac Daddy, and the diggity Daddy Mac.
What? There is more.
Now, Mark, next Sunday? I think it's next Sunday is Remembrance Sunday, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And we're always told to
as we're recording,
lest we forget the Second World War, the First World War.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
and the other wars.
Vietnam, the Boer War. Not really sure what happened in the Boer War.
I think we're supposed to forget the Boer War.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
all these wars that we're listing to forget or anything like that.
Yeah.
The one war that never gets mentioned, never even commemorated.
Testify, brother.
Is the Nintendo Sega War of
the console wars of our youth.
The console wars of the early 90s, Mark. We were there. We were there in the trenches.
In the trenches.
In the trenches.
We were. Feet. That's all we could grab was feet at any one time.
Yeah.
A war of attrition.
Yeah.
There literally are still Japanese men in forests who are still fighting this war as we speak.
Hand cranking their nezzes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, this is, it's pretty much just a commercial break, isn't it? It starts off Nintendo and ends up Sega. Very much like that period of history, wasn't it? It's like Nintendo took us from the end to the end of the 80s, and then Sega turned up and introduce us to the beginning of the 90s. And that's what Howard's trying to show us here, I think, without saying the name.
I was about to say, that's not what Howard's trying to show us. That's what Sega is trying to show us to Howard, right?
Yes, yeah. We start off with some like Nintendo-y type stuff, and then we get Mega CD glory at the end, which obviously...
The promised land of gaming, of course.
Yeah. And it doesn't tell us anything, does he? It's just Howard sitting in a booth.
It's like the show is just kind of flipping through a Rolodex.
Yeah.
You know, that's it, really. We don't gain anything from... Yeah, actually, no, I've thought about it. What is this? I hate saying that. I feel like I say that more often than I do. What is this? What is this about? Why is this here? Why are we talking about it?
I mean, it's exciting, but I think Games Master was going in 1993, wasn't it? You could have just watched Games Master instead.
I think it was. Oh my God. But that's the thing, actually, now that you say that, it's like, let me quickly just double check. No, you're right? Games Master started around this time. And, God, what was the BBC equivalent?
Well, Cyberzone, as we were talking about, it's not quite the same thing, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not, no. Games Master started in 92.
So there's no point in Howard doing. Like, this is Howard. Howard is representing the. He's not representing us, is he? He's representing the adult. No. The adult blinded by the madness of
what is it?
Games.
Yeah, because even the little. Actually, we should talk about the commentary because I think it is
racist,
borderline offensive. Yeah, I mean, I want to say it, Russ, but I mean, at one point, she kind of, when she's talking about how like, oh, there's more graphics and stuff like that, she kind of, her most passionate and gleeful exclamation is more violence, which she says with kind of a joy in her voice, which I think is supposed to be kind of chilling, because I suppose, you know, now that we know that Video Nasties was a whole load of bunkum, we need something new to kind of glom onto to complain about the ills of the world. But weirdly, actually, I was thinking, like, I mean, how old is Howard in this? Like, he must be in his 30s. Oh, so, I mean, the irony is, of course, if he was that age now, he'd be offended about this because, like, everyone in the 30s plays computer games. Yeah, because they grew up with it. We did. We did. We're not in our 30s.
But back then, computer games were just kid things, weren't they?
They were just they were toys.
Yeah. Despite being consistently violent, I just do get the impression that perhaps Sega has slightly paid the BBC's more than Nintendo to show that their games are more advanced and a bit cooler, because it starts off with the in fact, I'll go what I'll do, I went through this whole segment and I looked at all of the games. I know I ran them through Google Lens to make sure I didn't miss any. So there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 there's 7 games in this, and
7
4 of them are Sega, 3 of them are... Oh, no, it's 8 then. No, 3 of them are Sega, 3 of them are Nintendo, and 1 of them is Pac-Man. So it's BBC balance, but there's a progression.
I was about to say, but surely all the last games are Sega, right?
Yeah, all the last games are Sega. All of the...
Anyway, tell us.
Yeah. But what I'll do is I'll give you a fact for each game that they present us.
Okay.
And then, when we finish, there's a little treat at the end. I'll tell you all about the 2 Unlimited track that they've... And that's what you're really excited about, isn't it?
Oh, that's the dessert, isn't it? At the end of the vegetable main course. Go on.
Absolutely, right. So, first game. Classic Pac-Man.
Yeah.
We all know Pac-Man, don't we?
Well, we all know Pac-Man.
The most interesting thing about Pac-Man I found out is that, you know, the power pills that have in the corner of the screen that makes you strong and eat the ghosts?
The Eckies.
Yeah. The inspiration behind that was Popeye the Sailor Man and his
lust for spinach?
His lust for spinach, yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah. So every time you ever play Pac-Man, he goes to that corner thing. That's literally Popeye going for his can of spinach.
Have
you ever had a can of spinach? I've never had a can of spinach. I've had frozen.
I've never had a can of spinach.
I've had fresh spinach and frozen spinach.
Fresh,
I've never had tinned spinach.
No, I don't think I've ever seen a can of spinach.
That's probably why I've never had, like, you know...
Mussels?
What are they called? Anvils bursting out of my...
or battleships.
Yeah. Anyway, second game, Super Mario Bros. 2 on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES.
Yeah, I remember that one. I recognise that one.
Very famous because that wasn't Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan, because they released their own version of Super Mario Bros. 2, which Nintendo of America went, not good enough. It's too similar to Super Mario Brothers. One, you're going to have to make a new version of Super Mario Brothers 2. What have you got? The Japanese went, okay, we've got a game called Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic. We could convert the lead character of that into Mario. How about that?
They rebadged it, you fool.
Yeah, we could rebadge it, you fools. They went, yes, perfect. So that's what they did. So be very careful if you're ever buying a copy of Super Mario Brothers 2. If you buy it in America, it'll be one thing. If you buy it in Japan, it'll be the other thing.
I remember on the SNES the excitement when they packaged together the Super Mario Brothers games from the NES so that you could play it in the SNES, and it came with what was called Super Mario Brothers Lost
Levels. Yes. So that...
And the rumour was, or it was said that this was the original sequel, and that the reason it didn't come to Europe and America was it was too hard. They just couldn't trust us as Europeans with our light little thumbs to play this game.
That's absolutely correct. That is essentially what they did. Conversely, if you try and buy it in Japan, to get the rest of the world version of Super Mario Brothers 2, you have to buy Super Mario Brothers USA.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Anyway, next one. Still on the Mario theme. Question mark. Do you think... Yes. Question mark. I've never heard of it. Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet.
Yes.
Stingray. Yep. They were all presented in Super Mario Nation.
Super Mario Nation, yeah.
Which was a made-up term made by Jerry Anderson because it was marionettes. So he called it Super Mario Nation. Is his own word.
So it's kind of marionette animation.
Yes.
Supersized, supered.
Surely, and I've combed the internet for this. Surely, Super Mario, the character, is in some way that name is based on Super Mario Nation.
I don't really think a lot.
How else does Super Mario?
But do you think they had?
They definitely had. They definitely had.
Associate Japan with growing up with American things, though.
Hang on, right? Let's search. Did they have Thunderbirds in Japan? I'm going to type that in.
Well, it's like the main bad guy on Thunderbirds, wasn't he kind of, how does one put this, orientally coded?
Here we go. Wikipedia.
I'm listening. Yeah.
During the 1960s, Thunderbirds was exported to around 30 countries, including the US, the Netherlands, Canada, Australia, and Japan.
Wow.
In Japan, where it was first broadcast by NHK, Thunderbirds acquired a large fan base and influenced the series Ultraman, Mighty Jack, and Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay.
So not only was it popular, it influenced some of their major programs. So the idea that they came up with a character called Super Mario. Why was he called Super Mario? He's a plumber. Why is it not called just like Steve the Plumber?
Steve, yeah. Why is he Italian-American? Because NHK, that's their BBC, I think, isn't it? Like that would have been a big deal if that was on NHK.
Yeah, there's no one on the internet. There's no one on the internet to back me up. They definitely copied the words.
I was about to say, I know there's no evidence for us, but I'm moderately persuaded by your passion.
Good. Anyway.
That'll do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Super Mario World, that's the next game. Super Nintendo.
Which I loved. Yeah. God, I adored that game.
In the Japanese version, because, you could ride around Yoshi, the dinosaur.
Yeah.
The Japanese version, you were allowed to eat the dolphins. The rest of the world, you weren't allowed to eat the dolphins. Says something.
I suppose that does somewhat indicate their interest in consuming dolphins, right?
I don't know whether they have to lower the temperature of them and put them in giant.
But the dolphins didn't do anything. The dolphins
polystyrene boxes.
Weren't dolphins just background characters?
Well, so in the Japanese version, you could eat them. That's what I'm saying.
It's amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
So you were able to eat background details in the Japanese one just because
they look
it was
delicious.
Dolphins
They come past. They look delicious.
You're right. Yeah. That's true. Okay.
The next game.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Now, in America and Japan, this is called Contra 3, The Alien Wars.
Which I've heard of.
I think we hear about Contra a lot.
I did get play.
Contra was never released in Europe because those low-down, dirty Germans with their very strong computer game, what's the word?
Morality? Legal safeguards?
Safeguards, all of that.
Yeah.
They have a rule against glorifying war in computer games. So it's decided that Contra...
It feels like shutting the gate after the horse is bolted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, cheap.
So they decided that, well, I think probably Nintendo decided we won't release Contra in Europe because it's got two fellas just shooting the place up. We'll rename it Super Probotector, which is a bit of a weird name.
Yeah.
But it's robots instead. They just replaced the humans with robots. So in Europe, including Britain, it's called Super Probotector Alien Wars. And the only reason that exists is because the Germans were too, not scared.
Cowardly?
Yeah, cowardly, too Nazi.
Yellow bellies.
Accept,
Well, maybe if they'd won the war, they'd like to fetishize it like we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Next game.
I've never heard of it.
Now we've moved on to we're on the Mega CD now, and we've got to run a Mega CD.
Which is why Sega have flown them out.
And this is why this. Oh, do you think Sega flew them out for the entire thing? Possible.
Oh, I don't know. That seems too
Sega
much.
had money to burn in '93.
They did.
Anyway,
they had all that Sonic cash.
So the next game is a game called Cobra. The game with the Statue of Liberty that you see on the screen there.
Yes.
That's called Cobra Command. Now, that was originally an arcade game from the 1984. Nothing interesting about it, apart from the fact that it was the first arcade game to run on Laserdisc. And it's a direct conversion from Laserdisc to Mega CD.
That's exciting.
Well, it's exciting. I mean, we all love Laserdisc, don't we? Next game.
Well, I think they are the technology of the future, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
along with VR, obviously.
Who doesn't want to get up, take the disc out, and turn it over halfway through the film? That is
absolutely. Yeah. But when you do that with the ladies, you also get to imagine that you're handling that disc they put on Voyager 1.
Yes. So the next game, I think this is probably the most famous Mega CD game of all time, Night Trap.
Yes. Yeah, this is a big deal, isn't it?
There's a lot of Night Trap footage on this segment. Interesting thing about it, though, is that it wasn't originally created for the Mega CD. Originally, Hasbro had this idea of a VHS-based film game, and they filmed all of this in 1987.
Yeah.
Got it all
like
together.
Different tapes, or
I mean, it sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Sounds mad.
Like you have to fast forward and rewind.
So this is from the
VHS.
80s?
Yeah, it's from 87.
Oh. I always imagined they filmed it to look shit because... Okay.
No. It's a pure coincidence. It's reused stuff. So, yeah. So they Hasbro dropped it, and then obviously Sega came along and went, oh, we need some games to put on our CD. Oh, there we go. That's exactly the sort of low input nonsense that we need for our console. But the interesting thing is that the lead actress in that, who we see quite a bit of in this demonstration,
almost all of her.
Yeah. It turns out that she was actually quite a famous actress in America at the time.
Okay.
Because she was on Different Strokes. You know what you talk about, Willis sitcom.
Yes.
Which I don't think was it ever shown in Britain?
I don't know. I definitely saw it on Irish TV. In my head it was on Channel 4, but it could have been on RTE.
Well, obviously.
Because I grew up with that theme tune in my head.
Everyone knows it because it has that Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
What you talk about, Willis thing in it, and
who ended up being like a real tragic figure in real life.
Maybe the Different Strokes had that ability to do that. I don't know.
Is there a curse of Different Strokes?
Maybe there is, because so this actress that we see in Night Trap, her name is Dana Plato, and she played Gary Coleman's adoptive older sister. Apparently, unbeknownst to us, super popular in America, like it was quite famous and all that. Different Strokes ended. By this point, like many American child stars, she got a massive drug and drink habit.
Naturally.
And then in 1991, so 1 year before this game came out, but unbeknownst to her, because she'd recorded this 4 years ago, she decided to hold up a video store at gunpoint.
Oh, no.
But she's really famous. So on February 28th, 1991, Plato entered a Las Vegas video store, produced a pellet gun, and demanded the money from the cash register. After she left with the money, the flabbergasted clerk behind the counter called 911 and said, I've just been robbed by the girl who played Kimberly off of Different Strokes.
Oh.
I mean, it's sad, but imagine just working behind like the counter somewhere and somebody off of TV comes in and tries to rob you.
Oh, well, actually, do you know what? Especially back then.
And then trying to convince the person on the other end.
Oh my God! Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. It's almost the perfect crime, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Because everyone would you just imagine like she's a millionaire. Why would she do that?
Yeah. God, they were really screwed over back then, weren't they?
They were, yeah. And she did, yeah. She died of a drug overdose in 1998. So yeah, all sad all around. And then the last game,
10 years after she filmed it.
Yeah,
the game. Bloody hell.
Maybe that's what tipped her over the edge. The game wasn't what she expected it to be. She was hoping for Yeah, and then the last game is a game called Sewer Shark, which you just fly around the sewer, getting in trouble. That's the thing. Is that me, or was there a point in Hollywood where sewers were kind of glamorized? Like
glamorized.
Buffy. They're always wandering around in sewers in Buffy.
Oh, right. Yeah. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, always around in sewers. Yeah. But that's nothing like what sewers are like, is it? Sewers are literally just pipes full of shit. But there seems to be like a point in...
I suppose. Well, Fatbergs now, Russ.
It seems like there's a point in fictional history where sewers were like these adventurous places where you could get around
I blame the Third Man. The Third Man made sewers look so glamorous.
Demolition Man. They all live in all the goodies live in the sewer.
That's true. But they're remarkably clean, aren't they? Oh, I suppose Super Mario World, right?
Yeah, Super Mario.
And Super Mario Brothers the film. Yeah.
Sewer. What was this glorification of sewers that happened in the late 80s, early around the 90s?
It made sewers look so welcoming.
Did Big Sewer just turn out to pump loads of money into
the Basil Jet family and try to rinse one last dollar out of us all?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway,
okay.
My one fact about Sewer Shark is it was directed by John Dykstra, who was the person who did all the special effects for the first Star Wars film.
Oh, okay. God, that sounds legit.
Yeah. But then he directed this horrible Sega Mega CD game.
Which kind of implies that maybe he was a bit of a flash in the pan or something like that.
Great pun, flash in the pan, sewer. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
So there's not really anything about this segment apart from the fact that they're trying to tell us that like decent computer games like Mario are being replaced by awful computer games like Sewer Shark and Night Trap.
Sewer Shark.
And we're meant to think that's a good...
It's sold as Well, the thing is, we don't know their shit yet, right?
No, we don't. They look impressive. That's the thing. They did look impressive.
They do look impressive. They look impressive, right? That's the whole
They got
point,
real people
in there.
It's the first time you see real people in a computer game.
Yeah. Like and cutscenes, right? I don't suppose there weren't cutscenes before CD, as I recall. Like you'd have those moments in a game where you'd almost see, like there would be a cutscene in the sense that there would be a still image that would move along, and maybe your figure would move along, and then a little bubble would appear, and they'd say something. But now all of a sudden you saw like proper cutscenes where there was full motion video, FMV, right? Yeah. But the thing is, it was all shit. Yeah. We didn't know.
No. And should we talk about how Howard is dressed? Because I don't think we've mentioned it.
Oh, we haven't discussed that. I mean, that's the whole. I mean, this is the real. Yeah. So the real reason to watch this segment is Howard. Obviously, I mean that goes without saying. Yeah. Not just because of how he's dressed, but because of the. These days the case would say he is serving face throughout the whole thing. It is a delight. It is gorgeous. I almost certainly will create some kind of montage photo of a mere sample. A sliver of the faces he pulled. But yeah, go on, describe how he's dressed, because he kind of looks badass.
Do you think, well, I want your opinion on this. Do you think he's deliberately dressed like the T-1000 from Terminator 2? It's only a year after Terminator. Oh, no, it's 2 years after.
It's 2 years after, but it would have been a year after it was available on VHS, right?
He's wearing a American motorcycle cop helmet.
A Chips-style helmet.
And sunglasses, and he's got a gun, and then he's wearing like a Harley Davidson jacket, which obviously the T-1000 doesn't wear, but the T-1000 does ride a Harley Davidson in Terminator 2. So I mean, what else is why else is he doing this?
I think and bearing in mind it makes no sense whatsoever. I do think that's exactly what they're going.
I'm glad you agree, because I do. Is it Terminator 2 coded? Is that what they say these days?
Yeah, that's what exactly. Yeah. I've got a question for you. Yeah. Do you think he's ever ridden a Harley Davidson?
No, I don't think he has.
You don't think he has? Not once.
Maybe
he lives in America, right?
Maybe he has. Maybe, no, actually, no. I mean, Colorado. I don't know. I picture him driving.
You can imagine Howard on a hog.
I picture him driving. I picture him driving like quite a sensible car, like a
Ed Beckley Jr.'s kind of
like a
Toyota Prius.
Prius or like a Fiat Multipla.
But we've seen him wear a bolo tie casually.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. I don't think he's.
No, I'm not trying to push you in because I don't know the answer.
I don't think he's ever owned a home.
No. Yes, that's true. I didn't ask if he owned one. Do you think he's ridden one?
Yeah. No. You got. I guess if you live in America, you've got to give it a go once or twice, haven't you? I guess.
Or do you think, if not one of them, has he ridden one of those kind of three-wheeler style ones? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably had to ride one for the program. I'm sure
that's true. That's true.
At some point, yeah. He's,
Well, luckily we'll discover in the next 76 years because we're going to go through all the programs, all the episodes.
I doubt he wore that jacket while he was doing it, though. I think that jacket. No, that jacket's a one and done for this episode. I can't imagine he just wears that.
But he brought it with him because he's wearing it when he gets off the plane at the beginning of the episode.
What a strange thing to wear on television.
I'm very aware that when we interviewed Howard earlier this year, and it was a lot of fun, and he was very sweet, and it's nice to know that he kind of keeps an eye on what we'll get up to. He did sound like maybe he spotted that we maybe discredit his outfit choices more than a lot of people might, or more than a lot of people in his life might have done up until this point. So I'm mindful of the fact that I don't want to critique his choices every time. It is a surprising thing for him to wear.
Yeah. It's at least equally as weird as the other episode where Judith was going around Prague in a
double denim.
Was it White Sox? Was it a White Sox jacket?
Oh, yeah, no, it was a New York Yankees baseball jacket. Yes. Oh my god.
It's at least as weird as that.
Yeah. I do, but now to go back to my question, I realise we've already been talking about this segment for way too long. To go back to my question about whether we think Howard has ridden a Harley Davidson, I think he's more likely to have ridden a Harley Davidson than Judith has
to have played for the New York Yankees.
To play for the New York Yankees. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, absolutely with you there. Yeah. I'll put money on that actually, Mark. So just to round this off, we've got a Dutch angle.
Oh, that pun never gets old. Go on.
No. Well, but the thing is, there is also a Dutch angle because Howard is definitely filmed from a Dutch angle.
From a Dutch angle.
But the Dutchiest of Dutch angles is the fact that the music we hear is the mighty, 2 Unlimited. Get ready for this. Now, when I was looking into this song, I mean, it's not great. There's not a huge amount of information about this song because it is what it is.
What it is. Right?
It is there. It is just pure.
It simply
is. It is raw music. It just is.
Yeah. Pure raw music.
But what I didn't realise is that Americans refer to music like this as jock jams. Did you know this?
No. Oh. This is like stuff they play in the stadium because they can't organically enjoy themselves with chants.
But consistently,
jock jams.
What it seems like is that jock jams is just a description of what we used to call dance music in the 90s. But Americans weren't listening to it on the radio. They were only listening to it at sports events. So they referred to it as jock jams. And 2 Unlimited seemed to be the most jock jammiest of all of the bands because they quite often get 2, sometimes 3 entries in all the lists of the greatest jock jams.
It is so weird that they have lists for this. Go on.
But Get Ready for This is consistently ranked in the top 10 of all jock jams by Billboard magazine, Spotify, BuzzFeed, all of that. They love a jock jam. So Billboard magazine, for example, they rank 2 Unlimited, Get Ready for This, as their 10th greatest jock jam. Do you know what their 7th greatest jock jam is?
Now, I think I do. Because I know how your mind works, Russ. And the thing about it is that anyone who's British, who goes to an event where they play music at a sports thing, will, at one point, like the blood will drain from their face, and they will wonder why one of Britain's most cancelled men is still being paid money It wouldn't happen to be Mr. Paul Gadd, was Mr. Gary Glitter.
Yes, yeah. Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll Part 2 is the 7th greatest jock jam, according to Billboard magazine. Shoving. Unceremoniously shoving.
No.
Get ready for this by 2 Unlimited into number 10. However, BuzzFeed and Spotify actually put this as number 1. Another interesting thing about this song is that when it was first released in the Netherlands and Belgium, because the two not lead singers, I don't know what you call them, like the two main people in
artists.
Yeah, the two artists in 2 Unlimited
artists
are Dutch.
2 and Unlimited, I'm assuming they're called.
However, the producers are Belgian, so it's a half Belgian, half Dutch enterprise.
I didn't know that.
When this song first came out, it's got a lot of rapping in it. So the Dutch people are rapping a lot, which is unsurprising because obviously the Dutch are the world's preeminent rappers, aren't they? They're no one raps like the Dutch.
No.
However, when it crossed the channel to the UK, Pete Waterman.
Oh yeah.
It turns out he had an interest in the record label, and he went, okay, well, this is a great tune. However, not sure about all that Dutch rapping. Let's take all of that off the song, and let's just have it as an instrumental with "Get rid of this," and that's it.
Okay.
Turns out that was absolutely
kind of onto something there, wasn't he?
He was on something because it did absolute gangbusters. It shot to number 1, number 2 on the UK charts, way ahead of the Netherlands and Belgium. So yeah.
Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Can you quickly leave your house, knock on your neighbour's door, play them our version, get ready for this, and see how they respond to the absence of, I'm sure, the iconic Dutch rap that they're very used to.
I assume they would just start rapping over the top of it.
That's probably what it is. They probably just think it's a karaoke track and they just join in. Sorry, stupid idea, Russ. No, stay where you are.
Gadgets, gimmicks, selling points, or added features. Call them what you like, the Japanese can't resist them. Electronics pervades every corner of their domestic lives, and manufacturers are always looking to perfect their product, from the ultrasonic drink server to a toilet that automatically diagnoses illnesses by taking urine samples. Consumer heaven or technophobe's nightmare? The real question is, where will it all end?
Mr. Kawakami is an inventor. From his Tokyo workshop, he runs the Japan Chindogu Society. Steeped in months of tradition, the art of Chindogu was born out of an obsession for gadgets. Late into the night, Mr. Kawakami toils to realise his designs and blueprints. From his fertile imagination came ideas like the eye drop glasses, the hay fever hat, the zoom lens for cheap cameras, and of course the solar-powered torch.
And if you're beginning to wonder how you ever managed to live your life without these, or for that matter this 360-degree camera, well, don't be fooled, because Chindogu are all completely useless. Well, almost.
一番最初は僕のやってる雑誌の企画として始めた
What Mr. Kawakami is saying is that the very essence of Chindogu is that it cannot be practical.
雑誌の企画として始めたんですけれども
He started making them as a hobby, but then he realised that ordinary manufacturers were already making unnecessary gadgets that were invading his life. So now he makes Chindogu as a sort of revenge against the materialistic society around him.
どういうわけかどうしてなんでしょうね自分でもわからないんですけれども
But perhaps most of all, he says he wants to make his fellow Japanese laugh.
That's one of the things that we always see about Japan, isn't it? Is it always this guy? Like
yes,
this Chindogu idea,
yes.
And this.
So this going back to my mentioning like the cliche thing.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this episode, when I first started press play, there's a few things I thought guaranteed to see this in there. Bullet train, guaranteed to see it in there. And the other one was I couldn't remember the word, but it was Chindogu.
Yes.
Because I feel like at this time on British TV, what's his name, Mr.
Kenji Kawakami. Yes.
Kenji Kawakami. I feel like he was pretty much on any kind of family-orientated science technology show on the BBC, or actually specifically the BBC. I think he was. When my dad was busy at work, he was my other father.
He
was an ever-present.
He perfectly lives up to that sort of stereotype of Japanese people, isn't he? Like, he's an inventor, but what he's doing is frivolous. And he's a bit, he's a bit crazy, and but he's nuts. It's fun to see what he's doing. Yeah.
Well, when the reality was, like, he was actually a deeply satirical kind of artist who was mocking the very things that this kind of show, and to a certain extent other things, were fetishizing.
Yes,
this kind of Japanese need for gadgets and gizmos. Like he was. Well, actually, I don't know if he's probably still alive, but like I assume he's still doing it, but. It was weird. Like it was almost like if he was French, we would absolutely instinctively recognize the fact that he was being satirical.
Yes.
And if anything, he was almost certainly operating at a level we couldn't understand. But because he's Japanese, it's almost like there's a kind of a credulousness that we approach it with.
Even though they definitely
it was like he absolutely knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And I actually think on the level that we don't even realise, because when he was a student, he was specifically a proper left-wing activist and anti-capitalist.
Oh, see, that makes perfect sense.
But then, when he stopped doing that, he immediately got a job as the editor of the Japanese monthly magazine Mail Order Life, which is a magazine...
Like an innovations thing?
Yeah, it's essentially the Japanese version of Innovations. So the whole thing with it was that it was for Japanese like housewives or whoever, like people who would normally love to browse the shops, but maybe lived out in the sticks where they couldn't like go into Tokyo and browse the shops. So they would rely on this mail orders catalogue. And he got himself as editor of that. And then he deliberately started putting his nonsense inventions in it, and they became the most. They became the most popular thing in the whole catalogue, and so that's how he became famous. And you think, that's not by accident. He's done that. That's like, is it entryism? Is it called like where he's placed himself
like a cuckoo in the nest?
Yeah, he's placed himself deliberately in an environment where he's doing the opposite of what he actually. So the man's a genius. So that's what I'm saying, Mark. But obviously we just treat him as like a bit of a sideshow here, I guess. But I mean, I don't think Kate could possibly explain the depth of his or the level of his.
No.
And
yet, so there are two parts of this where obviously we see his classic Chindogu inventions, and I think the famous ones are the hat with the toilet roll on for people with colds, so they can just pull down toilet roll and blow their nose. We also see the one where there's like the little funnel in a spectacle so that you can lean back and put. The other really famous one, I think, wasn't it the kind of the safety helmet with the chain and the sucker so that you could fall asleep in the metro without kind of drifting onto people's shoulders.
I actually went through a few of his.
Oh, yeah.
Because he published a book in 95, 96 called 101 Unuseless Japanese Inventions, The Art of Chindogu. I went through the main ones of that, and I put my two favourites at the bottom of the document, and that is a baby with a mops on its baby grow.
Crawling baby.
So when it crawls around the room, it just mops the floor.
Which I
can see no downsides to that. And
that's brilliant.
And then the other one I really liked was butter, but in the shape of a Pritt stick. So you could just just Pritt stick butter onto toast. Yeah. That's a great idea. How's that not a thing? Really how's that not a thing?
I don't know. It makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, surely.
And so, but the thing is, like, the point I was going to make is, like, you see his Shandogu inventions and we all laugh. Each and every one of those has so much more utility than we also then, at the beginning of this segment, see real gadgets that are genuinely for sale.
Oh, yeah, actually.
And some of them are simple, like a TV that comes out at the end of the bed. But some of them are beyond stupid.
This is another one of those segments where there's no voiceover as well, so we should probably...
No, that's... Yeah,
have you got a list
and
of
I don't think... No, I don't, but I can remember some of them. So, weirdly, we see Kate wake up in bed, and she's been watching the film. You didn't recognise it, but I did, because of my misspent youth watching late-night films on BBC Two and Channel 4. She's watching...
Looking for a boob.
Looking for a boob, a little bit of jazz, late-night jazz. No, not really. I was just watching films.
Oh, yeah.
I suspect quite a lot of people at home will be aware of the Japanese film Tetsuo the Iron Man, which is again, like, it's an art film from Japan, which is, even now you see bits of this here incongruously. It's like a kind of it's a deeply disturbing imagery of a man who it's like, is it Superman 3? Is it where
yeah. Where she gets sucked into the machine.
Where she gets sucked into the machine, and that's a lot. That's a lot of kids
thing ever.
Yeah. Well, this is imagine that
as a
but
film.
like for 80 minutes and like deadly serious. I met this guy who slowly becomes method.
I actually looked up synopsis of this film. I've never seen this film. I've never heard of it. You recognised it, but I looked at the synopsis. So I want to read this out.
Oh, please.
And see whether you recognise this. This is just like a bit of the film, and I thought it was interesting. At home, the salary man sleeps next to his girlfriend and has a dream in which he is sodomised by organic metal machinery. Waking up, he either imagines or discovers that metal is taking over his body. When he attempts to have sex with his girlfriend, his penis becomes a metallic drill, which leads him to lock himself away from his girlfriend. She approaches him, saying she's not afraid of him, but he attacks her. And when he tries to sexually assault her with his transformed penis, she stabs him in the neck, causing him to fall into unconsciousness. The salaryman regains consciousness sometime later to find his girlfriend has impaled herself on the drill, killing herself. Does that sound about right?
I do remember that in the film. Yeah, absolutely. But it's a powerful statement about the kind of infectious industrial nature of Japanese economy and the way it abuses everyone. Yeah, but the weird thing is, like, Kate wakes up and she's been watching this all morning, but it's on a TV and at the end of the bed, and she opens the curtains, there's daylight. She goes downstairs. There is a self-playing piano in the front room. She gets into an armchair with a remote, not with a remote, with a kind of a little stick so she can move it around slowly. She then goes into the kitchen, where the most ridiculous invention of all is this table that kind of lights up like it's
that was
kind
my favourite,
and it has an ultrasonic device for moving glasses from one very slowly.
So the vibration of the ultrasound is making the glass move along like a very slow motion cowboy bartender. Where
no two ways about it.
Sliding across the bar, you're waiting for the ultrasound to jiggle it.
And I would posit, if you had any effervescent drink in that glass at the beginning of its movement, it would be completely flat by the time it reached you.
Yeah,
so there's all these.
A can of Guinness would end up like.
There's a speaker pops out of like an armrest or something like that, and there's some kind of disco playing device as well. It's all stuff where you go like, oh yeah, household gadgets. I mean, most of them have less utility than the Shindogu. Is ironically, I mean, obviously Shindogu has a value and a utility in terms of its statement about this kind of culture, but actually most of his mad inventions kind of have a use to them.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking was were the inventions that Kate was experiencing meant to be?
I don't think
silly?
so.
Because obviously,
I don't think so.
Bed with a TV at the end of it. All the rage these days, Mark. I found the most expensive one I could find on dreams.co.uk. Put it at the bottom of the document.
Yeah.
Not only is that...
And that is a bit much.
But that's a gaming bed. So that's why it's got the RGB lights.
The RGB lighting.
And as soon as I saw that, I thought, bit optimistic making it a double, surely. But
well, allow some to spread out, right?
That bad boy,
how much?
The X Rocker. That is 3,598 quid, and it doesn't even include the TV. You have to buy the TV on top.
Stop. No,
because you can specify how big you want the TV to be. But that bed itself is
that's ridiculous.
That's $3,500 just for that.
That's stupid. No, unacceptable. I think actually the fact that I know you're right about your optimism about the it being a double bed. I know it only comes with one bedside table. And the thing is, it looks awful.
I know it's old hat to accuse people who play computer games of being virgin. I play computer games, but however, there is no way you are getting.
Yeah, but you haven't told us you're not a virgin, Ross, and you still haven't.
There is no way you are. Anything is happening in that bed apart from playing computer games, is there? Like no woman is.
Is what?
Looking at that bed, going, "Oh yeah, I can
perform."
Anyway, you know what I mean.
But the thing is, like, if you have $3,500, like that is better spent, like maxing out your living room for proper gameplay.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Anyway, right, and then the other thing that they show is the self-playing piano.
Yes,
which has existed since Victorian times.
Yes,
I was astonished to discover that there is like a premium self-playing piano company in the world called Edelweiss. They sell their pianos in Harrods. And their website, like, portrays the idea of a self-playing piano. Like, can't believe nobody else has thought of this before. You don't even have to learn music. You could just sit there and pretend.
Oh, my God. That's brilliant.
Yeah. You can have people round, you can sit in front of it, and they all think you're playing a piano, but you don't have to learn because it just plays itself. And it's like presenting it like, this is a work of genius. Your friends will never know. These pianos, these Edelweiss pianos, the cheapest one is £50,000.
Get out of town.
They go up to just over £200,000.
Stop.
And you can't even play the buggers. They play themselves.
Is there no way of playing them at all?
As far as I can tell, I don't think so.
Astonishing.
And this is meant to be a good thing.
Ugh, that feels just queasy.
Rich people are not the same as us, are they? But yeah, Kenji Kawakami, as we say, very popular in the 90s. The great thing about him is he really hates the internet, so there's very little of him on the internet.
Oh, okay.
He's still around, but there's very little of him on the internet. There's one website which is very basic, looked like it's probably made in the 90s, and it still exists. Got a few of his inventions on it. But I think the one thing that he probably, if I was him, the one thing that I would think, that's my stamp on the world, and that's why I was always right, is the fact that in that first book that he published, the 101 Unuseless Inventions book, one of the inventions that he had in there was the selfie stick.
Oh.
That was
okay.
In that book, he regarded it as a totally pointless invention because he just didn't, why would anybody why would anybody just take photographs of themselves?
How wrong he was.
Yeah. That's become the defining invention of the past 20 years.
Certainly symbolic of the decline of our society.
Yeah. Good old Kenji.
God bless you, Mom.
Oh, and Chindogo means weird tool, if you were wondering.
I did wonder, yes, Chindogo.
Weird tool.
Weird tool.
Speaking of weird tools.
That's not a good thing.
Bleep, Professor Kasahara.
Professor Kasahara is one of 6 wise men in Tokyo who carries a bleeper wherever he goes. To this day, it's never gone off, but one day it certainly will. In the outskirts of Tokyo, some people are practicing for that day. They know how to put out fires. They know not to panic. In the centre of Tokyo, at the headquarters of the metropolitan government, they're preparing too. This is Tokyo's new disaster prevention center where all the city's managers will gather. Helicopters will send them information about the scale of the tragedy in the entire metropolitan area. The people of Tokyo all know what's going to happen. The only problem is they don't know quite when. That's Professor Kasahara's job. Tokyo was destroyed by an earthquake in 1923, and the pushing and squeezing in the Earth's crust that caused this destruction are still happening. 80 miles south of here, the Philippine Sea Plate is edging its way under the Eurasian continental plate, pulling it down. Sometime soon, something's going to give. But before that happens, Professor Kasahara should be on his way.
And this is where he'll be heading, the headquarters of Japan's earthquake prediction program, the Meteorological Agency. Here, every detail of every move the Earth makes around Tokyo is recorded.
24 hours a day, 133 devices transmit data. There are seismographs and tide gauges, measurements of changes in the water table and of temperature.
There are crustal deformation meters, extensometers, borehole volume strain meters, and they're mainly concentrated around the Suruga Bay area. And if they record anything unusual, like a series of 10 small magnitude 3 earthquakes in less than 2 hours, then the 6-man Earthquake Assessment Committee will be called.
That's what Professor Kasahara's a member of. The committee summoned in response to these seismological changes and rushed to the Meteorological Agency to interpret all the data. And in this earthquake-proof room, they decide whether a warning should be given.
It all sounds quite straightforward, but which of the changes means the earthquake is going to strike today or tomorrow? Are the small magnitude 3 earthquakes a foreshock, a warning of the big one to come, or is that it? That's the decision the committee has to make, the decision a warning will be based on.
Well, the problem of earthquake prediction is accurate estimate of occurrence time. That's most serious. Historical records tell us precursory events will occur in big earthquakes. Of course, their accuracy is not high enough by our scientific standard. We need earthquakes as many as possible so that we construct statistical laws more precise, more reliable.
So the irony is that all these elaborate measurements may only tell the seismologists how to predict earthquakes that are likely to strike Tokyo after they've happened.
They should learn from that. And when the next earthquake has happened, the committee should know enough to predict the one after. But this time round, it could mean Professor Kasahara arrives too late.
I want to sound frivolous here, Mark, but I'd absolutely love to experience an earthquake, wouldn't you? Just to see what it's like. Not like a bad one. I don't want to see buildings collapse and people die or anything like that. But I would like to be just like standing in a park or something and just to feel what it feels like to feel like an earthquake.
Yeah, I think if you knew no one was going to be injured or die, it would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be interesting.
It's just every day for the Japanese. I always think that because the weather looks very kind of similar to British weather. Mm-hmm. I always think that Japan is like, it's a bit like Britain, but off the coast of Asia. It's not at all. Japan is hit by more natural disasters than almost any country in the world. It has earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, floods, typhoons, cyclones, Godzillas. Like it has. It has all of the natural disasters hitting it constantly, but it seems very chill about it, doesn't it? It seems very relaxed about the whole thing, doesn't? That you forget about it almost.
Yeah, I suppose it's inner nature. It's not that they are necessarily quite chill. It's just more that it's not the done thing to flap and panic.
Yeah,
because I suppose, like in a sense, it's like, well, what are you supposed to do about it? you know, we live here. What are we supposed to do about it? What's the point, right? So yeah. It's weird because like I was the couple of times I've been to Tokyo, I don't remember anything that was earthquake related at all. And the reason I say that is because when we went to Nagoya, we were flying out of Nagoya airport, and we ended up having to stay an extra 4 days because of a typhoon. There was a big, huge tropical storm coming in, and basically they stopped all the flights out of our bit of Japan, and you couldn't even travel out of that bit of Japan to go elsewhere because they also stopped all the Shinkansen. And actually, one of the places we went to the week before was on the news because I think some people had died from flooding and stuff like that from this typhoon. I not ironically, but like the typhoon, when it actually hit Nagoya, it didn't really do much, and we kind of got bored, so we actually went out in it to a nearby pub, and we watched Japan beat Scotland in the Rugby World Cup, and it was heaving. The pub was small, but it was absolutely packed, and it was just a really fun thing. And it was like there was definitely a stay-at-home notice, and yet that pub was doing gangbusters. And it was mostly Japanese people as well. Like they were all just like, so let's go to the pub and watch the rugby. But the thing about Nagoya was when we were there was that there were signs everywhere, and I only really first noticed them when we were in a department store, and I think I was looking at fountain pens and stuff like that, or maybe we were posting around in the loo, and you saw that there were signs about what to do in an earthquake, and not like, help and safety gone mad kind of thing, like genuine, and they were everywhere. And then I started spotting them in every shop, and it was even things like advice in English, like don't stand in a door frame or something like that. You know, i.e., like, don't do these things that you think are safe because they're not. And they were everywhere across Nagoya. And so, whereas in Tokyo, where obviously, like if an earthquake did hit, and this whole thing is about an earthquake hitting Tokyo, I don't remember anything at all whatsoever. It's really odd, actually. Yeah, because I don't think Nagoya is any more exposed to earthquakes than Tokyo is, because it's all on the same. It's all on the same island.
I think the whole of Japan is absolutely earthquake fodder. Japan gets 1,500 tremors per year on average, which is nearly 3 a day.
Yeah.
Or was it more than 3 a day? No, it's nearly 3 a day.
No, it's about 3 a day.
It's about 3 a day. 18% of the world's total. So it's
hang on, it's about 5 a day, isn't it? 4 or 5 a day.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's 4 or 5 a day, isn't it?
Yeah.
80% of all of the earthquakes in the whole world.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. I don't remember any when we were there.
Well, you feel like you missed out, haven't you? Like, you should have... But obviously most earthquakes...
I want my money back.
The thing is, most earthquakes are negligible.
Imperceptible.
Yeah, imperceptible. Like, they happen, you don't notice them happening. Everyone bangs on about the Richter scale. The Richter scale has not been used since the 70s. They came in with... I think the problem is the thing they came in with after that has got such a boring name that you just end up calling it the Richter scale anyway. It's just called the moment magnitude scale. Just give it a name. Just call it like I don't know, quakeometer or whatever. I know.
Oh, yeah.
However, the Japanese themselves...
Quakegasms.
Quakegasm, there you go.
Yeah.
Japanese themselves, although they do use that from a technical point of view, they also, because they have so many earthquakes, they have to have like one that everyone can agree with, that you can like look at, like a visual scale. So they have what's called the Shindo scale, which has 7 levels. 0 is undetectable by a human, but detectable by a machine. 1 is somebody like looking around going, is there an earthquake going on?
Mm-hmm.
All the way up to 7, which is like the ground is vibrating so badly that you can't even stand up. You have to like crawl around the place because it's just shaking so much. Imagine that. Imagine the ground shaking so much you can't stand up.
I don't think I'd like
that. That happened.
Yeah.
That happens. It's like multiple times a decade. Hang on, I've got the thing here. So there's been 7 of that intensity this century. So every 3 years, every 3-4 years, it happens that there's one of those in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really hear it mentioned all that much, do you? That's right. The fact, like, just coming out of the pub and the ground starts shaking so bad you can't stand up. I mean, it's a great excuse.
That happens every time you leave the pub.
That is one.
To be fair, we are very cosseted on our little island, aren't we?
It is. I mean, everyone. It's been said by many people before, but it's so mad that we have no natural disasters and no poisonous animals.
No,
it's like we're in the training area for life.
It's the training level at the beginning of the computer game.
We'll do this once, and then we'll get reincarnated actually to somewhere difficult.
Yeah,
and have to live through that.
We don't even have Mothra.
Next time we go to Japan, and it's included in this video. You know that bit where there's the ladies trying to put out a fire, which in itself is quite funny because they're trying to put out a fire, which is on a video.
On a big giant
they're
TV
spraying a fire extinguisher at a video. How does that even work? So that turns out the fire department headquarters in Tokyo. He has multiple experiences you can do.
Oh.
So you could do fire experience, obviously. You could do a typhoon experience where they just absolutely, you put on like a Mac and they just absolutely spray.
Is that where you end up in a... No, that's where you end up in a pub watching the rugby,
they spray you, just absolutely spray water all over you.
Drench you, yeah.
But then the one, most close to this, you could do an earthquake experience. And they try and recreate what the first 72 hours of a devastating earthquake would be like. And you go in a lift, and the lift deliberately, so when you're in the lift, the earthquake hits, and you have to climb out the lift, and then you follow you learn how to follow the instructions down a darkened corridor, and there's fake smoke and fire and all like that, and then you go out into a fake street, and then there's aftershocks. And then you get a quiz on your phone. You have to try and answer the quiz while you're being shocked by the earthquake and all of that and that. And then it takes you to a evacuation area where there's tents set up, and then they teach you how if your house has just been demolished, what the next week or whatever it's going to be like living in a tent on emergency rations and things like that. That's all free, Mark. You just book a ticket, you can do it.
That sounds really interesting. Here's a question, though. Do you think, what are the odds that the moment you stepped into Quake
there's an actual earthquake?
An actual earthquake, but it was the exact opposite of the simulation, so everything just stood still, and you then demanded a refund.
I mean, slim, but you'd love it to happen, wouldn't you?
I'd be amazing, wouldn't it? I'd also be disappointed but then I would also be a bit disappointed I'd missed out on an earthquake.
Yeah, you have one chance.
Way ahead of us, Russ. Way ahead of us. Yeah, what are the chances?
This whole segment, I don't know if we recovered it that much. It's basically Mr. What's his name? Did we write his name down?
Oh, God, I don't think we did we?
Doesn't really matter because the man is an absolute shyster, freeloading... He's convinced
let's not give him the attention he demands.
He's convinced the Japanese government that he's required. He's not required, Mark. I mean, he admits it himself. He's saying that he can't predict earthquakes.
No.
All he needs is more data. If he could only get more earthquakes, more data, he could potentially predict when earthquakes happen.
That's like the old cake boss thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, how many earthquakes does he need? He's in the country, as we already established, that has the most earthquakes. Not enough. He will never have enough earthquakes, Mark, because it is literally impossible to predict earthquakes because they are entirely random events. The Earth's crust is going to do what it's going to do. There is no way that we mere mortals can ever predict an earthquake because it's a random event. So he's being paid to do nothing. He's being paid to cruise around town in his big shiny black American car.
In his suit and tie.
Pretending he's doing a job. Literally impossible. The closest mark that they have is the fact that when an earthquake first happens, there's two types of wave that come out of an earthquake. There's P waves and there's S waves. P stands for pressure. And S stands for shear. So shear, like the actual, the ground itself shearing.
Yeah.
The P wave moves quicker. It only moves very slightly quicker. So if an earthquake starts, your earthquake detectors will detect the P waves first. You've then got 60 seconds before the S waves turn up and just demolish everything. So the
60 seconds.
Yeah, 60 maximum 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's what they rely on. So what they rely on is they detect the P waves in the earthquake. They'll go, right, shit, earthquake's coming. do all of our earthquake stuff now. Like, they'll send a message to everyone's phone going, earthquake's coming. They shut off the gas, which I think is very clever. They immediately shut off all the gas. There's no fire.
Okay.
Because one of the big things that happens with earthquakes is just loads of fires start. So that's the first thing you want to stop happening, because that actually can kill more people than the actual earthquake itself. But you've only got 60 seconds. So if your phone goes off, it goes, earthquake coming. You've got a minute, and then it's going to happen. And that's it. That is the closest thing to predicting the earthquake they have. There is nothing else they can do. It's just part of being human is having to put up with earthquakes if you live in Japan.
If you live in Japan.
Yeah. They are way ahead of us, Mark. So it swings around about. It swings around about. You're going to put these things in a balance.
There's got to be a balance, Russ. Nature abhors people being too way ahead.
Do you think that's what it is? Nature is constantly trying to destroy their electronics.
To temper their progress.
Yeah. Try to shake up their go boards. They are now going, if we feed all the information to a AI, maybe the AI will have better, be able to identify patterns.
Better powers of prognostication.
The closest thing is that if you've had an earthquake, you're more likely to have another earthquake.
Okay.
But that's it. That's not a... And also, the thing that I thought was true, which turns out it's not true, is animals can't predict earthquakes. There is no correlation between animals going mad and there being an earthquake. They think the reason people think that is that there's a concept called flashbulb memory.
Right.
Where if something very strongly emotional happens to you...
Yes.
You remember everything that happened around you at the time. And then you focus on unimportant details. So
and then we espouse a value to them that doesn't exist.
So a lot of people focus on the fact that they remember their dog barking or seeing a deer run past them or whatever. And then that is what has caused the idea that animals can predict earthquakes. But actually, if you watch an animal, it's just as stupid as us. Doesn't know earthquake's turning up.
Well, that's
until
reassuring.
Until it gets a text 60 seconds earlier.
That's a bit disappointing. Money for old rope. No wonder he looks so happy.
Are there, last point, Mark, are there people in the world who are natural disaster collectors in the same way that there are people who are country collectors? So there's some people that want to go to every country in the world.
Yeah.
If money was no object to me, I would like to be a natural disaster collector. So I'd like to see a volcano erupt. I'd like to see a tornado. I'd like to experience an earthquake. All of that. Are there people that do that?
I bet you there are. Well, I mean, I struggle to believe you just invented the concept. I think the difficulty is, how do you do it?
Well, you have a lot of money, and then you just,
Well, that's the thing.
First step is to just probably base yourself in Japan because you're more likely to get hit by something.
That's true.
Don't stay in Britain.
That's true. Yes, that's a great point. Yep. I mean, to be fair, we were there for a typhoon in Japan. To be honest, the bit of Japan we were in, we hiked up a volcano. There's another one in the middle of Japan that is in the middle of the island that is bigger. And actually, I did look up a couple of months ago. There was a warning because it was erupting. So it's actually, genuinely, I imagine if you stayed in that bit of Japan for 3 months, you'd probably see an erupting volcano. You'd probably feel an earthquake of some level. And then maybe if you took a Shinkansen for a couple of hours, you could definitely experience a typhoon. Because there was whilst we were out there, we got a typhoon warning on our phones. It didn't hit our bit of Japan that we're in, but it did hit the bit of Japan we were in 6 years previously, almost to the day. So yeah, that's 3 you could knock off.
I have to say, I've already mentioned this before, I particularly am obsessed with lava flow. Purely because, what's to stop you just standing there, chucking stuff into the lava to see what happens? I would just spend all of my time throwing things in the lava to see what it did.
Isn't it? How close can you get to a lava flow?
I don't know. That's the thing. But could you just?
Isn't there that Werner Herzog
could
film?
You
that
park
couple
a car?
Who do this
could you
and they die?
Get a car that's still drivable, but has got no MOT that you don't need. Just drive it onto the lava and get out and bundle out of it and just watch it melt.
Bundle out where, Russ?
Onto the ground, on the side of the lava.
Onto the ground, next to the lava.
Chuck a washing machine on there. Just watch the washing machine melt. Can you not just do those sort of things?
I'm gonna go no.
Really?
I think my understanding is that is that, and I'm going to shock you, Russ, lava's really hot.
Yeah.
Not like, putting your hand over an oven hob hot, but like dangerous to the human flesh hot.
Yeah. Which is why you can melt everything.
No, in that case, yeah, it's definitely possible. All right, cool, yeah.
Anyway, right. We've gone on too long, Mark. Let's get to the next. This is the last bit, isn't it?
It's the last bit, yeah.
Brilliant. Here we go.
All ready for a night out on the town. All I need now is the night. Thank you. In just a few years, karaoke's turned from an eccentric form of relaxation into a major cultural export worth billions. But it's created a condition known as karaoke tip of the tongue.
Really well-known song. You must know it because it goes No, it's not that. It comes from a film. The film with that girl.
This, however, should stop any game of name that tune in its tracks with a system called melody retrieval. Oi, Dame Kiri, try this. As Howard gropes around to find the melody, the computer tries to match it to the tunes that it's got in its database. I think that's enough of that, thank you. Well, it's given 10 suggestions of what it thinks the tune is, but the most likely, 76%, is The House of the Rising Sun. Even if you're a bit out of tune, it can make an approximate match. A sort of computer, you hum it, I'll play it.
And God, I know I'm one.
So, another problem solved in the city that's one glorious techno fix, where machines take over wherever people leave off, where every human failing is a market opportunity.
Tokyo sometimes uses technology to a ludicrous extent, but what we in the West see as needless today, we may feel we can't live without tomorrow. And it'll be Japan that calls the tune.
Who knew, Mark? Who knew? I mean, we've seen Howard doing many things over all these episodes, but I don't think we've ever seen him sing.
No.
I thought Michael Rodd was the one musician in all of the Tomorrow's World presenters, but it turns out that Howard Stableford has quite a good singing voice, doesn't he?
It's legit. He's legitimately good at singing. He's legitimately good at singing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
kept that in the old.
I was genuinely impressed.
Pocket,
especially the way he jumps up an octave and lands that high note. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I wish I could sing that well.
Yeah, he does that. I call it like a cowboy thing. That thing where that obviously it doesn't sound like that.
There's a word for that, isn't there?
But you know,
warble. I mean, yeah. What is that called? Yeah.
Love it.
Like Mariah Carey does it, right?
Sounds good. So this, I think, is, from my perspective, the most interesting invention of the whole programme.
Okay, spoiler alert for the end of the show. Go on then.
Because I found it impossible to find any reference to this exact invention.
Yep.
However, the idea of being able to search for a song by humming it is so reliant on so much stuff which we now have.
Mm-hmm.
I found a research paper from Cornell University from 1995 where they are theorising, like they're going, so at some point in the future you'll be able to look up songs just by humming them. And I'm reading this paper, I'm going, hang on a minute.
It's 2 years after.
This is 2 years after I've just seen this happen in Torah as well. And the only thing that the paper says, the very last sentence of this paper, which I think is actually quite an influential paper because they use the phrase query by humming, which is then used by everyone since then. So they coined the term query by humming. The very last sentence of that paper says, Kageyama and Takashima published a paper on retrieving melodies using a hum melody in a Japanese journal, but we were unable to locate a translated version. So these lads who in Cornell University of America essentially just went, right, let's pretend the Japanese didn't invent this. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's just go. We've come up with this, but we'll hedge our bets by saying that we've heard maybe the Japanese thought of it before us, but they didn't. The idiots didn't publish it in English, so we'll just gloss over that.
That is so poor, and so transparent.
Yeah.
You'd actually respect them more if they didn't add that.
It's almost like they were just worried in case someone had maybe seen this episode or was adjacent to, It's a fascinating thing because it all links in to something that we now use a lot. That I don't think we would have acknowledged at the time how much we would have used it. Like, I remember I don't really remember this, but like back in the days of sort of around Napster days.
Yeah.
There used to be a thing where if you've got a CD, put it in your computer in the CD-ROM drive, and it would go in, and then it would magically know what that CD was, and that information is not stored on the CD.
Yeah,
CDs are not that complicated; they don't have that ability to do that. But what happened was there was back in the very very early days of the internet, when everything was nice and everyone was nice to each other. There was a thing called CDDB, the CD database. And it was a voluntary thing where everyone who owned a CD, they would put their CD in and then tell the database what that CD was. And all CDs have a thing called the table of contents, which is a list of the songs on it and the duration of those songs. And obviously, no two albums will have the same number of songs and durations. So you're able to, from that information, work out which CD is which. So that's what it started out as doing. And then in the late 90s, somebody went, "Oh, we can extend this because all songs have their own fingerprint. Like there are no two songs are the same. The basic melody and beat of the song you can turn into a fingerprint, and then you can identify a song just by playing a small clip of it." No one thought of this as being possible at the time in the 90s because it would require you to have an enormous database of all the songs ever, and also
every song ever,
and also the ability to turn those into an easy to digest fingerprint, and then also have a algorithm that's able to turn a human voice into a fingerprint, which it can then match against a massive database of musical fingerprints. So there's a huge amount of stuff going on there. So it's one of those things where possibly like a thing you could do in the future, but not something you could do with the processing power or the access to databases of 1993. However, they are doing it, Mark. And there's no explanation as to how they do it. I can explain how they're doing it now.
Yeah.
It's the internet and there's loads of computers. So you could just use machine learning, or you could just teach a computer all of the music in the world and an infinite number of people singing. None of that was available in 1993, Mark.
No.
So I have no idea how they did it.
So my assumption with this one was that it was only able, because this is in a karaoke place, right? So it's only able to process the songs it has available to you. And so there's a 75% match that it's House of the Rising Sun. Now, bearing in mind, when Howard picks up the microphone, and he doesn't hum into it, he starts singing There Is a House in New Orleans. And it's only a 75% match. Now, actually, what I really regret them not doing is there's a song underneath it, and it's written in kanji. It's a Japanese song, probably, or at least a Japanese title. And it's a 50% match. I would love to have heard that song.
Yeah.
To see why that came up as a 50... No, there's a 1 in 2 chance it's this song here. But my suspicion is it would not have been able to tell you a song it didn't have access to at the karaoke place.
I've just realised, this is me being stupid. He's singing the House of the Rising Sun. Japan is the land of the rising sun.
The land of the rising sun.
That had not occurred to me. Did you know the House of the Rising Sun is an incredibly old song?
I don't think I did, no.
Music archaeologists? They reckon it was a folk song, and they could trace it back to the 16th century.
No.
Yeah.
But the house is in New Orleans.
Well, it never used to be. It used to be in like
in Orleans.
Norfolk.
Oh.
Somewhere like that.
Oh gosh.
Shazam, Mark. So Shazam.
Yes.
Do you actually use Shazam? Or do you just say you've Shazammed something and just use something else? Or Shazam?
No, I use Shazam.
Is it like installed by default onto iPhones? Is that what it is?
No, but I downloaded it on my iPhone 15 years ago, and I've never shifted it. So I use Shazam. Interestingly, Josie's phone, which is a Samsung something or another, is constantly doing it in the background. So on her front page on her phone, if there's music in the background, it'll just show the title. Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It does still kind of blow my mind. And actually, I was saying to Josie yesterday, it's like I remember dialing 2580.
I was going to ask, I was going to test you whether you remember.
Yeah. Oh, 2580. Yeah. I passed that test. And like you'd be out somewhere, and invariably you'd be doing it to a song you already knew the title of, almost to prove that it did it. But every now and then, you'd be holding it up to a speaker in the ceiling and desperately trying to find out what it's called. And if it worked, it was just an enormous rush.
Yeah. And as far as I could tell, I think Shazam were the first ones to come up with the idea of like this is a commercial thing. But it's in everything now. Like that because all companies are so obsessed with absorbing data and finding out what people are doing. The audio fingerprinting thing is perfect for them because they can, for example, in like TV ratings company Nielsen. So Nielsen owns Grace Note, which is what the CDDB used to be. So the first ever audio fingerprinting company is now owned by Nielsen, and Nielsen is a television ratings company. And the reason why Nielsen own them is because they don't trust. Because what they ask people to fill in questionnaires to say what TV programs they're watching.
Yep.
People are very untrustworthy when they fill in those films. They actually like say, "Oh no, I was watching University."
I was watching University Challenge.
University
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And actually, secretly, they're not.
They're watching,
But now Nielsen has this technology. They can hear what's playing on the TV. So they actually can work out what's happening. So it's much easier to do that. The most ridiculous use of it that I've found out that happens now is that posh cars, like posh, but like the sort of cars that rich wankers drive. So your Teslas, your BMWs, Audis, all that. They now have a thing where the stereos can hear what's being played on them, and new songs.
Sorry, stereos are listening to themselves?
Stereos are listening to themselves.
Some kind of Ouroboros?
Stereos listen to themselves, and the makers of new music can impregnate the stereo settings into the music. So the stereo in the car will go, House of the Rising Sun is playing. We need to ramp up the bass and and so it will change the EQ, of the stereo to match the song that's being played at the time. Wait,
I mean, it's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah,
it's way ahead.
It is way ahead, isn't it?
Way ahead. Yeah.
The first ever song Shazammed ever was Jeepster by T-Rex.
Gosh. Okay.
Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting choice.
Yeah, so, I mean, to conclude, it's a very important technology. It's used all the time. In fact, like this episode, we used it to find out the music of multiple segments. And also, really, the picture element. Like, I used it to find the computer games using Google Lens. Google Lens is essentially a visual Shazam, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's one of those things where the world has got more and more and more based on this one technology. And we will never be able to do without it, Mark, because I love looking up stuff and, finding things out. But Shazam always just reminds me of Avid Merian doing the David Blaine impression and holding his hand up to the camera going, Shazam.
I'd forgotten about that. Like quite a lot of his career, I've forgotten about that.
Anyway, program ends telling us that Japan is the world's. It says 70% of all the world's robots.
70% are manufactured in Japan.
Manufactured in Japan.
Yes, which I suspect is no longer true, but I suspect also they are including toy robots.
I looked it up, and Japan is still the world's top exporter of robots.
Interesting.
Or robots.
No longer. You'd assume China would be way ahead.
No, still 30% of all the world's robots are exported by Japan.
Okay.
Have a guess how many of the world's robots are exported by the UK?
4%.
2%.
2%. Oh, I was greedy.
Presumably, you've got Sir Killalot, Hypno Disc. What are the other ones? Professor Knowles, Professor Knowles Sharkey. Yeah, all the rest. Anyway, that's it, Mark. Have you got anything else
Great
to say?
app, Russ. I don't know.
Let's bring this baby in.
So then, Russell, I need you to tell me about 1993 by first laying out the cinema box office.
Okay.
Now, you can have no excuses because I know for a fact this website was up 2 days ago.
And well, you're in luck. It's up again. We're all good. Number 10, Soft Top Hard Shoulder. Which I've never heard of, but it's got Peter Capaldi in it.
Okay.
Number 9, Sarafina, exclamation mark. It's got Whoopi Goldberg in it. Number 8, Raising Cain.
Ah, okay.
Sir John Lithgow.
That's the Jeremy Irons one, isn't it? Oh, it's John Lithgow, yeah. Twins, is a bit twin. Anyway, yeah.
Number 7, Night and the City. It's got Bobby De Niro in it.
Why have I only heard of one of these films so far?
Maybe we weren't going to the cinema in 93.
Probably not.
Number 6, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Seen an ad for that.
Number 5, Singles, directed by Cameron Crowe with Bridget Fonda in it. Number 4, Deep Cover. It's got Lawrence Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum in it. But most importantly, it's directed by Bill Duke, a.k.a. Mac from Predator. Number 3, A Few Good Men. There we go. That's a film we've heard of.
I have heard of that film.
That actually was re-released in the cinema over here last week. Yeah. So I guess it's probably like the 30th anniversary.
1993.
Oh no, maybe not.
Yeah.
What year is this? Number 2.
25.
Number 2, Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
And number 1, The Bodyguard.
Oh.
Directed by
good.
Mick Jackson. Don't know that you directed that.
Tell us the pop chart, Russ. Pop charters to the max. I suspect I know what number 1 is, but tell us what's in the pop chart, Russ.
Number 10.
Mm-hmm.
Could It Be Magic? Take that.
Oh, it's a great question. Could it be?
Number 9. Arrested Development by Mr. Wendell Stroke Revolution.
No, it's Mr. Wendell by Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah, it is. No, sorry.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where it's the wrong way around, like Kerncraft 400. Number 8, Sweet Harmony by The Beloved.
Let's come together. Yep.
Number 7, Open Your Mind by Usura.
Oh, wow.
Is that?
Yep.
They're taking that title from Total Recall.
Total Recall. It's the clip is from Total Recall.
Oh, is it? I don't know the song.
Because it's the bit where we open your mind. Like they just lifted it.
Oh, good. Number 6, I'm Easy, Stroke Be Aggressive by Faith No More. Number 5, We Are Family, brackets 1993 by Sister Sledge. Don't know what the difference is in that particular version. Probably not as good.
Drum and bass backing track.
Number 4, It's My Boys and Girls, No Limit by Two Unlimited.
Oh, amazing.
Number 3, The Love I Lost featuring Sibyl by West End featuring Sibyl. R.I.P. Number 2, Exterminate featuring Nikki Harris by Snap featuring Nikki Harris. And number 1, would you want to guess what number 1 is?
Well, I mean, based on the number 1 film, I'm assuming it is from the film The Bodyguard. Yeah.
Yep.
Would that be a good guess? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Good. Russell, advert me till I die. Go on.
So
what have you got for us?
93 was an embarrassment of riches.
I know it was. I know it was.
There were so many classic adverts.
Yep.
And I just had to go. I looked at them all and I thought, really, there is no other advert it can be, Mark.
Oh, gosh.
This came out in 1993. And it's not just the advert in 1993. It might be possibly the most famous advert of all time.
That's quite a claim.
The ambassador's receptions are noted in society for their host's exquisite taste that captivates his guests. Ferrero Rocher.
Delicious.
Excelente.
Monsieur, with this Rocher already spoiling us.
Ferrero Rocher, a sign of good taste.
Iconic.
I mean, whatever. It's that and the Shake and Vac advert are basically the two most iconic adverts of all time, aren't they? The thing that I had not noticed until this viewing is the German ambassador, Excelente.
Excelente, yeah.
Is one of the Nazis from Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's the third. So you've at the end where the three Nazis melt. You've got the Nazi with glasses. You've got the French Nazi with the headdress, and then you've got the other Nazis like a normal Nazi in a hat, the German hat. That is him. That is him.
He's a normal Nazi. Him. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
good spot.
Very exciting to have found that out.
Magazine covers.
New Scientist. Why coal has a future. Picture of a coal miner. I think the reason coal has a future is that no one gives a shit about
trying to burn
the environment. Yeah. Scientific American. The turbulent birth of the Milky Way. And from quantum dots to designer atoms. Popular Science. Fail-safe skies. Designing airports for the 21st century.
Okay.
Time magazine has Bill Clinton on the front cover.
Oh, yeah.
Looking very young there, but with like an almost like Jay Leno type chin. Standard liver with tough choices at home and a dangerous world abroad. Bill Clinton takes charge. I was thinking about this. Is Time magazine just basically like a American president massaging magazine? Like,
I don't know.
Like it just seems to just love all American presidents regardless of who they are. Anyway, 14 times.
I don't remember the last time I read a Time magazine. No, I was just thinking I don't remember the last time I read a Time magazine. I read an Economist every now and then, you know.
14 Times has got a cartoon Charles Darwin running away from a load of dinosaurs saying, how old is the Earth? Did Darwin get it wrong? My question about that is that I don't think Charles Darwin ever said how old he thought the Earth was. I think he just said that he thought that there was... his
is a theory of evolution.
Evolution,
right?
yeah. I don't think he ever went, and that means the Earth.
Oh, and
is
while
so
I'm here, the Earth is 14.2 billion years old.
Well, he's in trouble. He's in trouble with a lot of cartoon dinosaurs here for some reason, and a unicorn.
All right,
anyway, Private Eye, privacy clampdown shock, and you've got David Frost, our old friend, David Frost from you might remember him from Through the Keyhole. He's laughing and having a chat with John Major, and David Frost
John Majors.
David Frost is saying, what are you going to do about the press? And John Major laughing back at him saying, that's none of your business. Brilliant.
Okay, that's not one of Private Eye's best. Okay.
Viz, it's all here. Marzipan, 20 fascinating festive facts. Top of the toppers, Britain goes suicide crazy. Sex in big letters. And I'm scared of dinosaurs, says TV spender. And a picture of Jimmy Nail. And Playboy magazine. It's a holiday anniversary issue. Toast the New Year with a rousing encore from the Barbie twins. Also, Playboy interviews the astute Steve Martin. And 20 questions with the passionate Sean Young.
Fabulous. Well, then let's crunch some numbers, Russ, shall we?
Yep.
Should we crunch some numbers? Let's do it. Are you recording still?
Yes, it's still recording.
Fabulous. So let's go with question number 1. Most important invention. You've already nailed your colours to the query by humming invention right at the end.
What else is there?
Yeah, you're right, actually.
I mean, if the artificial womb was a going concern, then it would be that. But it's not.
Yeah,
it still doesn't exist.
No, it's still very much on the on a designer's board, isn't it? I suppose I was kind of thinking about the demonstration of the level of technical advancement in the intelligent building it is, to my mind, looking back now, is like, that would have wowed me.
Yeah.
More than anything else. And yeah, actually, the thing I use most, well, no, I mean, obviously, we're using that technology now to do this because you're in Amsterdam and I'm in London and we're doing this online and so on and so forth. Yeah, I kind of agree with the karaoke thing, just because it was only even recently when I went onto Google, hummed a tune that had been bothering me.
Was it?
No, it wasn't. No. It turned out it was Lieutenant Pigeon.
Oh.
Yeah, and the fact that it recognised it was kind of thrilling. Even now, it's still kind of thrilling. I suppose the Shazam of it all just still does feel like it's future tech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm happy enough with that. I think that's good. Most worthless invention. I mean, surely it's the illusion that is earthquake prediction.
Yes, yeah, well, yeah, it's an absolute waste of time.
It's a grifter's paradise, right?
Yeah, been spending most of my life.
And bearing in mind that this is an episode in which Shindogu is one of the stars of the segment.
Man deliberately inventing crap inventions.
Yeah. It is nowhere near the most worthless invention. No. Because they all carry worth to them. Most inaccurate prediction of the future would be the same thing, actually, whereby there is the pretense that we will eventually be able to predict earthquakes, which you have so fundamentally debunked.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Worst screw-up?
It's all pre-recorded, so I'm not sure.
No, exactly, because it's all VT. I don't think you can have a screw-up. And it seems mean to kind of mention like Howard's Harley Davidson jacket. Taste is subjective. No, there's nothing there, is there?
Yeah.
Best attempt at making something boring interesting.
Is it?
The video game stuff?
Well, no, I was going to say, is it
their
weird obsession with using the morphing technology to make that like a sleeping man's ear pulsate, then another man's nose bulge? Is that? I
mean, that's the worst attempt at making something normal weird. But again, because we watched this more than once, it is one of those things where like it just begins to chip away your soul at the end. You go, why are they doing this? And actually, even now watching this again, as you know, because we always watch these before we start speaking again, you found another one that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah. Just sort of infecting.
It's like a cancer on the show. Yeah, I'll accept that. Best use of music?
Now, normally I would say Tier Unlimited, obviously.
Of course you would. You're a patriot.
I'm a patriot, actually. But Howard's lovely singing voice.
It has to be, yeah.
It's got to be Howard's lovely singing voice to illustrate the wonders.
Not only because he sings well, but it is in service of the innovation. Yeah, so I like that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Best or worst use of furniture? Now, we have a few examples here. One is the armchair that Kate very slowly works her way around. Yeah. The other is the ultrasonic dining room table with neon lights in.
For my taste, that's it. Because it's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. If we had a Hall of Fame for worst furniture, it's up there with Supergrand's Lazy Boy. And dare I even ask the last question? Most notable clothing?
It's got to be the Harley Davidson jacket, isn't it?
It has to be the Harley Davidson jacket. So did we see in the episode that made it into the future? And the answer is yes. And miraculously, despite the fact that it's living on the precipice, Tokyo has made it into the future.
Yeah.
Itself, yeah. But yeah, there's plenty in this that definitely has made it into the future.
I mean, it's made it into I mean, we are currently in the future, and it's all just made it. Like it is.
Yeah.
Due to the time differential between us and Japan.
Yeah.
We are.
It's our present. We are
now living in the present.
Yeah.
Japan forged in 1993.
I mean, having just been to Japan, I have seen the future, and I simply I signed an NDA as I flew out. I can't tell you anything.
I have noticed you do keep like massaging your neck from the whiplash that you must have suffered.
The temporal whiplash.
From experiencing the future. Like that.
So quite a lot did. And what did this episode tell us about the 20th of January 1993?
Japanese way ahead of us. Tomorrow's world full of promise and fun, and they've only just discovered morphing technology. Need to look into that a bit more. Computers are nicely over there. They're not completely taking over our lives. So they're something you can use.
Yeah.
But they're not the be all and end all of everything.
I think actually it's interesting, isn't it? That the intelligent building is perhaps the most prophetic part of the show.
Yeah, because it just shows you the internet.
And it's basically showing the internet and how we're all going to be trapped in it.
Yeah.
And yet they don't know that and they don't explain to us. Like, actually, really, if you did a half an hour on that, as boring as it would be as television, it probably would be the most useful use of our time because it would have got us ready for the future. It's like, and it's slightly a joke, slightly a throwaway thing. The reality of what's to come hasn't even hit tomorrow's world, let alone the rest of us. I think it's a very good point. So let's look at our tropes, Russ. Presenter having to speak over louder sounds. There's nothing really egregious in this one, is there?
No, I don't think so. No.
Niche bicycle invention.
Well, there is that weird bicycle creature
I know,
keeps following them around, and I don't really know what it is.
It's kind of creepy, but because they never explain it, I don't feel like we can tick the box. Sadly, there's nothing to do with oil rigs.
No.
There are some suspiciously obvious brand names on the ad-free BBC, almost to the point of corruption.
The Sega Mega CD.
Any clear and blatant lying?
No, I
nothing really, right? No, it's quite straight down the middle. I also, and I think I mentioned this before, I do like the fact that this doesn't other Japan like a lot of TV shows at the time would have done.
No. Yeah, they're trying to. Yeah. They're not trying to freak you out. They're showing you that they're just a bit way ahead of us, but they're actually they're just like the rest of us. Yeah,
they're just like the rest of us, but they're different. And I did like Howard's line at the end. I'm going to paraphrase it, which is along the lines of like, look, the Japanese might seem like they get all trapped in their gadgets, but actually at some point in the future we might discover that we can't live without it. I was like, that is true, not of everything that comes from Japan, but there's definitely stuff where you see, we must have seen stuff on like when Jonathan Ross went on a holiday to Japan, a paid holiday with the BBC, and you'd see stupid things and go, oh, that's stupid. And then like 10 years later, it'll be in every house.
Yeah.
I think that's a good observation, but I do like the fact they're not othering Japan. They genuinely are there to talk about, well, actually Tokyo specifically, so I thought that was quite good. Sadly, there are no evil farmers. I have a horrible feeling we're going to have to think about retiring.
Retire it now. Go on.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of it.
I'll strike through it then. All right. Well, I'll have to remember that for the next one when I copy and paste this over. But the sad thing is I can't think of something to replace it with. So
we don't need to replace it.
No, but we did take one out. We did take out Maggie Philbin's sleeves don't match her body, but because we replaced it with niche bicycle invention. But you're right. So Evil Farmer is now we're gonna, in that American style, we're gonna lift it up and it's hanging up there in the legacy ceiling.
Take out the back of the barn and shoot it.
All right, bloody hell. Casual sexism.
I mean, it's Japan. Really. Presumably, there must be some sort of casual sexism.
It's not casual at all. How dare you?
What about the
salarymen and the office ladies? Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the robot peeping on.
That's true. Yeah. Let's just say we can safely tick it.
The pervert.
Yeah. Lab/space filled with darkness and stark coloured lights, which I think counts as
were they in lab?
No, but then when Howard's in the arcade, I think they use that. Oh. And what is an arcade if not a laboratory of fun? Dutch angle?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
No items presented from a gantry. Did we get a dad joke from Howard Stableford? I mean, probably.
I still think was it Sushi Sue?
I'm happy to take it.
It was a joke by him. Or at least
I don't believe...
He said soul as well. Something about soul.
He did say soul, which I thought was quite good. That's absolutely true. The episode does not end in a damn scrib. Lasers?
No, I don't think there was a laser, weirdly.
And were there no magnets either? There were no boats. There was an illusion of boats. I mean, fish, but we didn't see the boat.
Oh, we didn't, no.
No. Baxter doesn't bugger off, and they didn't travel to Shepherd's Bush. In fact, they did quite the opposite.
Yeah. Shinjuku
so all I have to
does not count as Shepherd's Bush.
No, very, very true, Russ. Sheppy B, as I'm sure you called it when you were working around there. Because that's the kind of obnoxious arsehole you are, right? Yeah. So all I have to say, Russell, is that there were 1,409 episodes of Tomorrow's World ever broadcast. We have now successfully covered 56 of that 1,409, which means there are a scant, paltry 1,353 episodes left for us to cover, meaning we have covered 3.98% of all the episodes ever broadcast, leaving us a scant, paltry 96.02% left to audit.
I'm no mathematician, Mark, but surely next episode's going to be 4%, isn't it? We're going to break the 4%
Ooh,
barrier.
I don't know.
Aren't we?
I look forward to finding out.
Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? Isn't that exciting?
Smashing through the 4% barrier.
About time too, as well. Anyway, what a quick record that was, Mark. It real flew by.
Flew by, Russ.
with nary problem or anything.
No technical problems.
I'm sure the people listening won't notice anything. But I do have to go now.
Oh.
And the reason is, I was so inspired by the Japanese that I decided to install a vending machine in my village.
Oh, yeah.
Dispensing my used pants. It's been it's been going gangbusters, Mark. It's completely run out. I've been wearing it. I've been having to change pants morning, noon, and night to restock the bad boy. I'm making a fortune. I'm
hand over fist.
Yeah, hand over fist. The pants are flying off. I don't know where they're going, but the thing needs restocking, so I've got to go. So, you know.
Well, I do not want to keep you, so please. Let's conclude there, shall we?
Yeah, let's conclude there. So it's very much sayonara from me. Is it sayonara from you as well?
Yeah, sayonara from me too.
And if you are on the internet, we will see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Tokyo.